Chapter 43:11. The Vajra king was indeed very strong. His 6 arms slammed down, and almost all of them had the same amount of power. They were extremely penetrating. When this power surged out, the Vajra king felt as if his power had hit a piece of cotton. He could not use any power at all. You know how to use sword intent to defend? I didn't expect it to be so powerful. I wonder how many times you can block my attacks. The Vajra king's pupils shrank slightly, and his 6 arms moved again. Bam, 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 bam. Bang. Every hit was very rhythmic, and it actually formed a certain frequency. At that moment, the Vajra king had used a secret technique to make his power stronger. With the help of his 6 arms, his power was far greater than before. Lin Fei was still using his sword intent defense. The defense rippled. Even though it looked like it was about to break, it did not collapse. It was still intact. Don't worry. Take it slow. No one has been able to break my sword intent defense for a long time. If you can break it, then I'll consider you powerful. The corners of Lin Fei's mouth curled up slightly. He smiled and allowed the Vajra king to keep slamming down. However, he had to admit that the Vajra king was indeed very strong. The power of his 6 arms, especially after they formed a frequency, increased by 3 to 5 times. It could be said that each hit was fatal. A chi refinement expert would be killed in 1 hit. Moreover, they would die without a complete corpse. I don't believe that your broken sword intent defense can withstand me for that long. The Vajra king had encountered all kinds of opponents. He had even killed many defense experts that he was proud of. Sword cultivators were just famous. The Vajra king did not believe that this person's body could withstand his attack. The Vajra king's power had a very strong penetrative and destructive power. Bang, 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 bang. No one knew how long the Vajra king had been attacking. Every slap seemed to have landed on everyone's hearts. After a long time, everyone's faces turned pale. Only the Vajra king could attack at such a high frequency. Vajra king has met his match this time. It looks like we should take action. That kid's sword intent defense is truly unparalleled. Even Vajra king can't break through it. Emoing shook his head. He was not optimistic about Vajra king. I think so too. This kid is really something. No wonder he was able to enter our divine dragon's secret realm. After the 2 of them looked at each other, they immediately made their move. Mo Ying's speed was the fastest. He directly rushed in front of Lin Fei. An overbearing mental attack directly enveloped Lin Fei's body. The spirit was so strong that even Lin Fei's body shook a little before he recovered. Is this the power of the Spectre Demon King of the 3 great demon kings? It's actually a spiritual force expert. No wonder this spiritual force can bewitch Xiantian masters and Qi cultivating masters. It's really powerful. I can even feel the scent of divine sense in it. While Lin Fei was momentarily dazed, Long Qianzu attacked. His speed was no slower than Vajra King's. 18 arms attacked in an instant. Compared to Vajra King's 6 arms, Long Qianzu's 18 arms were even more ferocious. Moreover, each arm was armed with a weapon. When those weapons smashed down at the same time, it was terrifying. Bang, bang, bang. Under the attack of the 18 arms, Lin Fei's sword intent defense instantly collapsed. One layer after another. At first, Long Qianzu had a smile on his face, but in the blink of an eye, his expression changed to one of surprise. The sword-will defenses were so tight that not even wind could pass through them. Layer after layer, they continuously drained the power of Long Qianzu's 18 arms. In the end, all of his power was gone. Dragon Qianzu, what is the meaning of this? When did I ask you to help me? Vajra King was furious. What he hated the most was letting others interfere in his battle. It didn't matter who it was, as long as they interfered, he would feel very unhappy. Vajra King, didn't you see this kid's sword intent defense? You think you can break it with brute force? You're dreaming. Didn't you see that the power of my 18 arms was neutralized by him? Do you think you can defeat him? Long Qianzu scolded. Vajra King was getting angry. After all, the opponent's sword-intent defense was like a turtle shell. His 6 arms couldn't break it. Seeing Long Qianzu's 18 arms unable to deal with the opponent, Vajra King realized that he had underestimated the kid. He didn't expect this outsider to be so powerful. No wonder Heaven Eye Monarch and Demon King Heaven's End hated this kid so much. They must have suffered a lot at the hands of this kid. One Yao King couldn't beat him, so the other 2 Yao Kings attacked. In that case, I won't hold back. Courtesy demands reciprocation. I'll give you myriad swords converge. As soon as he finished speaking, a sky full of sword shadows appeared, instantly causing the expressions of the 3 monster kings to change, and they retreated one after another. No one knew how the sword images appeared. By the time the 3 Yao Kings realized it, the sword images had already enveloped them. In just one exchange, they had suffered countless sword-intent attacks. In any case, they were densely packed. Myriad swords converge. This is the true myriad swords converge. Where did this kid come from? He even has my Sky Sword Mountain's absolute art. On another wall, when Sky Sword Mountain's Jin Yuanqing saw this scene, he couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. He was so scared that he started shivering. Now, Jin Yuanqing was even more suspicious of Lin Fei's identity. Could he really be an expert from Sky Sword Mountain? Otherwise, how could he control his sword intent so well? Ordinary people wouldn't be able to do that. If Lin Fei really came from Sky Sword Mountain, their Sky Sword Mountain would become famous. No, they would have the chance to unify the entire Kunlun Mystery Land. After the myriad swords converge, the 3 Yao Kings appeared to be in a sorry state. However, they didn't seem to be seriously injured. Vajra King, your helper has appeared. Are you willing to admit defeat now? I am in need of a gold medal fighter like you. Lin Fei smiled as he looked at Vajra King. Vajra King's face turned pale. He had actually lost. He couldn't do anything to Wang Xian's tortoise shell. Wang Xian's attacks were very powerful. Even though he was a Yao King, his body was riddled with bloody holes. Let's just attack the city. Let's take down the sacred mountain first. Vajra King pretended to be confused. Long Qianzu and Emoing no longer dared to look down on Lin Fei. Wang Xian already had the strength to threaten them. Attack the city. After the 3 Yao Kings retreated, they immediately gave the order. You guys. As Yao Kings, your face is too worthless. You actually don't want to admit defeat. Miao Shu House. Chapter 43:12. The Vajra King was indeed shameless. In any case, he had already lost. Did he really want to become the opponent's golden fighter? You're thinking too much. Destroy the sacred mountain first. You must have heard wrongly. I, the Vajra King, have always been a man of my words. Since when did I say something like that? On account of your decent cultivation, go as far as you can. Don't get involved in this matter. The Vajra King would never admit that he had lost. Was the Demon King's face not a face? With a command, the tide-like demonic beast army attacked. The sacred mountain's barrier was activated. A series of ripples appeared. The demonic beasts were stopped. The sacred lord's face turned solemn. Among the demonic beast army, he saw a few special demonic beasts. These demonic beasts were huge in size and were pushed over by the demonic beast. They were like war machines. You guys have actually cultivated such special demonic beasts. No wonder you guys are so confident in destroying the sacred mountain. The sacred lord also recognized these special demonic beasts. Because these special demonic beasts were used to destroy arrays, their venom had a special corrosive effect. Therefore, these demonic beasts were feared on the battlefield. Of course, their effects were also very good. These huge disc-like demonic beasts were called formation exterminator beasts. Countless nozzles on their backs sprayed green venom at the barrier. When the venom landed on the barrier, sizzling sounds could be heard. Then, a hole appeared on the barrier. These holes weren't very eye-catching at first, but as the number of poisonous creatures increased, the holes continued to connect, forming huge holes. These demonic beasts also began to enter through these holes. Hurry up and kill these demonic beasts. We must not let them in. Kill the demonic beasts. The people below the city also came out one by one. 3 in groups, 5 in groups, besieging the demonic beast. Fortunately, not many demonic beasts came in. But the scene was still very intense. Demonic beasts were constantly dying. More and more people joined the battle. The strength of the demonic beasts also increased. In the end, even Sciention realm experts joined in. Sacred Lord, I don't know if your holy mountain can withstand the attack of our demonic beasts. Hurry up and open the primogenitor sacred ground. Otherwise, your holy mountain will be littered with corpses. Long Qianzu coldly said. The strongest of the 3 demon monarchs wasn't idle either. Although he was staring at the sacred leader, he was also staring at Lin Fei, the visitor from outer space. He had to guard against the strength of this sword cultivator. If he joined hands with the Holy Lord, it would be troublesome. Even if he had 18 arms, it would still be difficult for him to deal with them. You want me to open the primogenitor's sacred land? You have to fight me first. Sacred leader was a hot-tempered man. He led the 18 black-armored men and charged forward. As soon as these 18 armored people rushed out, they directly killed their way into the demonic beast army. In an instant, countless demonic beasts were sent flying and fell to the ground, becoming corpses. All of a sudden, the pressure on the people of the Holy Mountain was relieved. The Sacred Master and Long Qianzu were also fighting. The Sacred Leader did not use martial arts, but pure spells. One after another, spells attacked Long Qianzu. Sacred Leader's spells were not simple. They were wind-type spells. Wind blades constantly attacked Long Qianzu from all directions, making it impossible for Long Qianzu to escape. Even if Long Qianzu managed to break free, the wind-type spells would immediately trap him. He simply could not get close to the Sacred Leader. It was impossible for him to cause any damage. Sacred Leader, your wind-type spells are still the same. However, do you really think that you can stop me by relying on wind-type spells? Long Qianzu laughed. He took out a bead with one of his arms. As soon as the bead appeared, it shone brightly. The wind-type spells that were attacking Long Qianzu were stopped by the bead. They simply could not land on Long Qianzu's body. Do you see this? This is the air-frozen bead that I obtained with great difficulty. It is specially used to break your wind-type spells. I don't know if you still have any way to stop me now. Long Qianzu laughed heartily and rushed forward. His 18 arms directly attacked. In an instant, the attacks landed on the Sacred Leader. Even if the Sacred Leader had arranged a wind-type defensive spell in the first place, he was still sent flying by the 18 arms. This is only the first gift. The best part is yet to come. After the Sacred Leader was sent flying, the 18 black-armored puppets flew up and formed a barrier in front of him. These puppets helped you a lot last time. However, it won't be so easy this time. Long Qianzu took out another treasure. It was a flute. He blew it with a whistling sound. As soon as the flute was blown, the strange sound fell on the bodies of the 18 armored puppets. The 18 armored puppets immediately changed direction and attacked the Sacred Leader. Don't think that I don't know that you brought these 18 armored puppets from the ancestral sacred land. However, I'm not stupid. I found a way to restrain them. I wonder what kind of gift I have. Long Qianzu used 2 treasures to greatly reduce the strength of the Sacred Leader. His wind-type spells were suppressed and the 18 armored puppets were no longer under his control. Lin Fei was a little surprised. Even the most powerful technique of the Sacred Leader was restrained by Long Qianzu. The treasures they took out were also unusual. Outsiders might not be able to tell, but Lin Fei could see it clearly. They were clearly magic artifacts. He was even more curious about the ancestral sacred land. It seemed that there should be a lot of good stuff in the ancestral sacred land. He could go in and plunder it. The changes of the 18 black-armored puppets made the sacred leader flustered. After all, the combat strength of these 18 black-armored puppets was extraordinary. Coupled with Long Qianzu's attack, the pressure on the sacred leader multiplied. He had really underestimated Long Qianzu's calculations. To think that the sacred leader would even take out these two treasures. It was enough to restrain the sacred leader's strength. 18 levels of hell. Long Qianzu suddenly burst into laughter. His 18 arms formed seals and unleashed a powerful killer move. A killer move filled with death aura struck the sacred leader. The attack sent sacred leader flying. This time, his injuries were even more serious than before. You actually cultivated to the 18 levels of hell. Your combat strength instantly soared by more than 50 times. The sacred leader spat out a mouthful of blood and looked at Long Qianzu with fear. The Vajra King and Demon Shadow also frowned. They recognized this killer move as one of Long Qianzu's super-secret arts. It could instantly unleash 50 times its original power. It could be said that whoever it hit would be destroyed. It was very difficult to cultivate. It was also a very powerful killer move. Even the two of them did not dare to face it head-on. It was said that this was a secret technique unique to the Dragon Clan. Bookseller's website. Chapter 43:13. The moment Long Qianzu used his trump card, the sacred leader could no longer block it. His entire body was smashed into the ground, causing the entire sacred mountain to tremble. The might of a demon king was terrifying. Anyone who faced Long Qianzu's move would feel its power. If anyone were to face them, they would be killed in an instant. It would even be very normal for them to be beaten to the ground. The Titan King and Emoing looked at each other with a hint of fear in their eyes. Although they had been working together to guard against Long Qianzu, they hadn't expected him to succeed in cultivating the 18 levels of hell. The power of one move increased by 50 times. That would definitely kill them. The three Demon Kings worked together to fight for the title of number 1 Demon King, and Long Qianzu seemed to have taken that step. Long Qianzu might have used this move to deal with the sacred leader, but it was actually a warning to King Kong and Demonic Shadow. See that? I've cultivated the 18 levels of hell and can unleash 50 times the power. If you know what's good for you, submit to me and admit that I'm the number 1 Demon King. I'll take you to eat and drink. If you don't know what's good for you, I'll either kill you or subdue you. It's that simple. Sacred leader, how does my move taste? If you're still not satisfied, I can give you another buy one get one free deal. After all, there are only a handful of people in the entire Divine Dragon Secret Land who can block this move of mine. Long Qianzu laughed heartily. Without another word, he unleashed the 18 levels of hell again. The power of 50 times erupted and blasted down. The sacred leader, who had been lying in the ground, was in tatters. That move had directly pierced through his defenses, and even his physical body had been severely injured. Seeing Long Qianzu attack again, despair filled his face. He hadn't expected Long Qianzu's strength to surpass him so quickly, and the treasure in his hand could suppress his strength. Splash, 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 splash. Just as the sacred leader was in despair, a stream of water appeared in front of him, blocking the attack for him. The stream of water was formed by sword intent. Facing Long Qianzu's 18 levels of hell, it sank slightly before returning to normal, losing more than half of its power. It's you, kid. Are you courting death? How dare you help the sacred leader? The moment the sword intent appeared, Long Qianzu immediately knew who the culprit was. It was Lin Fei, the visitor from outer space. More importantly, the other party's sword intent could actually withstand 50 times his attack. This was what made Long Qianzu feel dissatisfied. This kid was much stronger than he had imagined. Long Qianzu didn't know when the sword intent had appeared. In any case, when it appeared, it had already blocked his 18 levels of hell. Then, I wonder how many layers of my attacks your sword intent defense can withstand. There was a loud noise. All of a sudden, 18 attacks erupted from the 18 levels of hell, one after another. It turned out that Long Qianzu had once again used a secret technique. There were actually 18 levels of attacks hidden within the 18 levels of hell. Layers upon layers of hell appeared, and an attack landed directly on the sword will's defense. No matter who it was, that scene would cause their hearts to sink. Long Qianzu's strength had already reached such a level. If it was a one-on-one fight, no one in the entire Divine Dragon Arcane Realm would be a match for him. The strength of the 18 levels of hell was terrifying. However, the sword will was as steady as flowing water, withstanding 18 attacks without making a sound. Your 18 levels of hell are not bad. However, my sword will's defense isn't bad either. Why don't we call it quits for today? Why don't we sit down and have a chat instead of fighting to the death? I'm not interested in the Divine Dragon Arcane Realm. I'm just here to visit, and I'm interested in the Ancestor. If you want to continue fighting, why don't you play with me? Lin Fei smiled at Long Qianzu. He didn't retract the sword will's defense. Of course, Lin Fei wouldn't watch Long Qianzu kill the sacred leader. He felt that if Long Qianzu killed the sacred leader, it might be impossible for him to visit the Ancestor. However, he had to admit that Long Qianzu was indeed the strongest among the 3 demon kings. If it weren't for Lin Fei's recovery, he wouldn't have been able to withstand the attack of the 18 levels of hell. After all, it was a 50-fold attack. A demon king was already so powerful. Another 50-fold attack wouldn't be a joke. The Dragon 1,000 Feet Demon King frowned. He knew that it was impossible to kill the Holy Lord. This outsider was really a troublemaker. In the beginning, King Kong had offended this kid. Otherwise, he could have roped him in. However, it seemed like it would be difficult now. A boorish man will always be a boorish man. He only knows how to mess things up. Sooner or later, I'll deal with this King Kong. Long Qianzu laughed. Actually, I've never thought of killing the sacred leader. After all, he's the controller of the sacred mountain. If I kill him, who will bring us into the Ancestor's forbidden zone? Everyone despised Long Qianzu's hypocritical behavior. He obviously couldn't wait to kill the sacred leader. How could he put on such a sanctimonious act? As for Long Qianzu and Lin Fei fighting, it was impossible. Then let's sit down and have a chat. Long Qianzu returned to his original position. All the demonic beasts gave up on attacking and retreated like a receding tide. Even so, the air was still filled with the smell of blood. The sacred leader mocked himself. He flew out of the ground with wounds all over his body. He quickly took out a medicinal pill and swallowed it. Many thanks for Brother Lin's help. Otherwise, this old life of mine would be gone. The sacred leader smiled bitterly. Even a horse will stumble, let alone a human. As long as you're alive, nothing will be a problem. Brother Long, I think you should have attacked just now. With your 18 layers of hell, you can definitely break that kid's sword intent defense. At that time, I'll join hands with Emoing, and we'll definitely be able to kill that kid. I feel that kid will always be a scourge here. King Kong instigated Long Qianzu the moment he returned. Emoing followed. I feel that that was the best opportunity. Even if we can't kill that Lin Fei, we can still kill the sacred leader. Long Qianzu coldly looked at them. If it's that easy to deal with, then the 2 of you can go. I'll hold them back from behind. As long as you can kill the sacred leader or Lin Fei, then you can become the #1 demon king. I, Long Qianzu, will submit to you and won't have any other opinions. King Kong and Emoing laughed dryly. They really didn't dare to do that. Then we'll slowly discuss it. We still have time. Let's see what the sacred leader has to say. Chapter 43:14. A battle had ended without a trace, just like that. The people of Sacred Mountain heaved a sigh of relief. After all, there were so many monsters. If they really fought to the end, It was unknown how many of them would survive. There were simply too many monsters attacking the city, so many that they felt their scalps go numb. Everyone looked at the extraterrestrial guests with gratitude. The Poison King and Three Stones Divine King looked at each other and heaved a sigh of relief. They really didn't want to fight these monsters. They were just too difficult to deal with. There was no need to mention the three Monster Kings, especially the Dragon 1,000 Feet Monster King, whose strength was unfathomable. Even the Holy Lord was tricked by him. If it wasn't for Lin Fei, the Dragon 1,000 Feet Monster King would probably be dead now. The place to talk was even simpler. They found a place with no one around. It wasn't far from Sacred Mountain. Our opinion is that you open the primogenitor's tomb, and we'll go in. It's that simple. If you don't agree, we'll continue attacking, Long Qianzu said coldly. If you don't open it, we'll continue attacking the city. We monsters reproduce quickly and aren't afraid of exhaustion. But it's different for you guys. It won't be that easy to replenish your numbers. King Kong chuckled. Sacred Lord's face darkened. In this aspect, they really couldn't compare to monsters. That was why Sacred Mountain's strength had been affected all these years. Then do you know what will happen after you open the primogenitor's tomb? Even I don't dare to guess. The primogenitor is already dead. He's probably turned to ashes. Do you think he can trick us? We three demon kings aren't afraid. As long as you open the primogenitor's tomb, we'll dare to enter. Long Qianzu really wasn't afraid of the primogenitor. He was already dead. At most, he would leave behind some legends. Lin Fei listened quietly. Currently, the only thing in the entire draconic arcane realm that Lin Fei cared about was the primogenitor's forbidden zone. Sacred Lord, if you can open it, then open it. They're courting death anyway. They can't blame anyone else, Lin Fei said with a smile. The Sacred Lord hesitated for a moment before saying, All right, then I'll bring you into the primogenitor's forbidden zone. If you die in there, don't blame me. I'm the one who warned you. The Sacred Leader was also rather helpless. If he didn't bring them in, they would definitely continue to attack the Sacred Mountain, and the Sacred Mountain would suffer heavy losses. If you want to enter the primogenitor's forbidden zone, you'll need to gather all 10 dragon keys, Sacred Lord said. Isn't it just 10 keys? That's easy. Just mobilize our men and we'll be able to find them in no time, Long Qianzu said nonchalantly. It was not difficult to gather 10 divine dragon keys. After spending nearly 6 days, he finally gathered all 10 keys. This time was still far beyond his expectations. Sacred Mountain had returned to its usual liveliness, but there was still a somewhat depressing atmosphere in the city, because the demon beasts stationed outside had not retreated. The Sacred Leader led the group to the center of the Sacred Mountain. The center of the Sacred Mountain was a completely different world. It was a huge natural cave. By chiseling on the natural cave, another part of the Sacred Mountain was formed. They walked down the Sacred Mountain. Soon, they arrived at the underground world. A terrifying, depressing aura swept over them. This is formed by the aura left behind by the primogenitor, the Sacred Leader said. As expected of the Sacred Leader. I didn't expect the aura left behind after his death to be so huge. It can even form a sinister wind. The strength of this sinister wind isn't weak, almost comparable to the Xiantian realm. No wonder it's called a forbidden zone. Doesn't this mean that the deeper we go, the stronger the sinister wind gets? The Vajra King laughed loudly, allowing the sinister wind to hit his body. He was unharmed. The forbidden zone left behind by the primogenitor isn't as simple as you think. The Sacred Leader didn't dare to be careless. He cast a spell in front of him, forming a layer of defense to resist the attack of the sinister wind. The Sacred Leader's careful actions made the 3 demon kings even more disdainful. They didn't stop mocking and ridiculing him along the way. There weren't many people who came down this time. There were 4 demon kings, 3 demon kings, Sacred Lord, and Lin Fei and the rest. There were about 20 people in total. As they went deeper, the strength of the sinister wind grew. Everyone put up their defenses. However, the three demon kings clearly didn't think much of the sinister wind. They continued to resist it, unmoving like a mountain. Looks like the sinister wind here isn't as strong as I imagined. The Vajra king patted his body. They walked for 3 hours. Dragon 1,000 feet demon king asked why they didn't fly over. In the end, the sacred leader replied coldly, "There's a spatial tear here. If you have the guts, you can try flying over." With that, the 3 demon kings didn't dare to move. Originally, everyone was very casual. However, after the sacred leader said that, they became more cautious. This was a void tear. If he were to fall into it, who knew where he would run off to? The biggest possibility was that he would die within the void. Even though the demon kings were strong, they would still die in the void. They rested once along the way. After walking for nearly half a day, finally, a huge ancient tomb appeared in front of them. This ancient tomb was built entirely out of black rock. Of course, the most shocking thing was that there were statues placed in front of the ancient tomb. These statues weren't real statues. They were ice sculptures. No one could imagine that there would be ice sculptures in the depths of the earth. There are people in the ice sculptures. These are all living people sealed in ice. It's too scary. It's really too scary. He was killed in one move. When everyone got closer, the sinister wind was even colder. Its strength was at the pinnacle of the inborn realm. However, these ice sculptures still made everyone gasp in shock. These are experts from our Sky Sword Mountain. Why are they here? Jin Yuanqing resisted the sinister wind. However, he was shocked too because he saw the experts from Sky Sword Mountain. Their attire was very obvious. It was hard not to see them. Poison King, Stone God King and the others were also moved, because they also saw a few familiar figures. After all, they had families backing them. Naturally, they knew some things. Therefore, when they saw the ice sculptures, they were shocked. They didn't expect that the people they couldn't find would die in the draconic arcane realm and become ice sculptures. These people have been dead here for a long time. I advise everyone not to touch these ice sculptures because they contain a terrifying chill. If you touch them, they might fall onto your body and turn you into a new ice sculpture, Holy Master reminded them. That's right. Holy Master! Holy Master! He waved his wind spells and countless wind blades flew forward. However, in the blink of an eye, these wind blades were frozen in midair. This is the first test in the ancient tomb. Chapter 43:15. The fact that spells could be frozen by this chilling wind made everyone secretly take a deep breath. It could be seen that this chilling wind was extraordinary. I've brought the place to everyone. You can enter the ancient tomb after passing the first stage of the sinister wind, Sacred Leader said coldly. Looking at the ice sculptures in front of them, no one dared to be careless. The wind blades that Sacred Leader used were pure energy attack. They didn't expect that they would be frozen by the sinister wind. I, King Kong, have thick skin and flesh. Let me go in first and see how strong this sinister wind is. King Kong snorted coldly as he grabbed one of his subordinates and threw him in. Whoosh! Everyone heard the sound of something freezing. They saw that the demonic beast that was thrown out was frozen into an ice sculpture and fell to the ground. They didn't even have time to breathe. What a terrifying sinister wind! My subordinate is at the peak of the inborn realm, but he couldn't even block it. Why did the ancestor leave such a sinister wind here? King Kong cursed. Heaven Eye Monarch and Demon King Tianjue gasped. They were standing closer to King Kong and took a step back. He silently took a step back. If he had been thrown in just now, he would have been frozen into an ice sculpture. It didn't feel good to be killed in an instant. They really wanted to leave immediately. They didn't want to go to the ancestors' ancient tomb anymore. It was simply a matter of life and death. They didn't dare to move now. If they moved, King Kong definitely wouldn't mind throwing them in. This sinister wind is quite strong. But since the ancestor left it here, there should be a way to enter. Long Qianzu looked at Sacred Leader. What do you think, Sacred Leader? I think it's better for you to tell us the secret. Anyway, everyone is going to enter the ancestor's ancient tomb. You can't hide the secret in your heart. I didn't expect you to know so much. You actually know the secret of this sinister wind. Sacred Leader smiled wryly. I specialize in researching the primogenitor's ancient tomb. Although there aren't many words left behind, I more or less know that since the primogenitor laid down such a killing formation, there must be a way to break it. It's impossible for him to stop everyone from entering. What do you think, Holy Lord? I advise you not to hide your thoughts and speak them out openly. Long Qianzu said with a proud expression. This sacred lord is a little dishonest. A thought popped into Lin Fei's mind. At first, he thought that this sacred leader was normal. But now, it seemed that this sacred leader had a lot of secret. Actually, it's not that hard to enter the ancient tomb. Do you see these ice sculptures? Don't look down on them just because they've been frozen for a long time. As long as everyone sprinkles their blood on them, they'll be able to activate the people inside the ice sculptures. As long as they're killed, they'll naturally be blessed and enter the ancient tomb. Otherwise, no one will be able to pass through. King Kong laughed. I knew there must be a trick to this place. I didn't expect it to be like this. Doesn't that mean that the people inside the ice sculptures have a certain amount of combat power? That's just right. I, King Kong, will be the first to fight them. This time, King Kong didn't grab his subordinate. Instead, he slid his hand and cut open his arm. His blood sprinkled on the nearest ice sculpture. Then, an incredible scene appeared. After King Kong's blood sprinkled on the ice sculpture, a crashing sound could be heard. The ice sculpture completely melted. The figure inside the ice sculpture suddenly opened its eyes. The eyes were cold and emotionless. They didn't carry a trace of aura. The figure instantly attacked King Kong. Corpse that has been dead for God knows how long. Do you think I'm afraid of you? The Vajra King's 6 arms smashed down heavily and sent the puppet flying. Trash that can't even withstand a single blow. King Kong pounced forward again. His 6 arms fiercely smashed down. This time, the chilling winds didn't take the initiative to attack him. Instead, they let him deal with the ice sculpture. After a few rounds, the ice sculpture was smashed into pieces by King Kong. Sacred Leader, your secret is really useful. The chilling winds didn't attack me. Ha 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 ha. I'll be going first. The Vajra King laughed heartily and strode forward. Long Qianzu and Emoing exchanged glances. They gritted their teeth in hatred. King Kong was one step ahead of them. With that guy's temper, he would definitely sweep everything in his way. Long Qianzu and Emoing didn't hesitate. They also sprinkled their blood on the ice sculptures. However, the ice sculptures activated by the two seemed to be quite strong. It took King Kong a lot of effort to kill them. Then, King Kong calmly chased after them. Aren't you going in? Lin Fei asked with a smile. If I don't go in, the 3 Yao Kings will take away all the items inside. If that happens, your holy mountain will have a hard time in the future. I'm just letting the 3 Yao Kings scout ahead. If there are any dangers, let them deal with them first. If we go after them, we can avoid a lot of trouble, Sacred Leader said. After the 3 Yao Kings killed the ice sculptures, the other 4 Yao Kings did not hesitate. One by one, they followed suit. Needless to say, there were strong and weak ice sculptures. If they were lucky, they would encounter some weaker ones. If they were unlucky, they would encounter some stronger ones. After the 3 Yao Kings entered, the other 4 Yao Kings followed suit. This process didn't take too long. Brother Lin, aren't you going in? I heard that there are many good items inside. We can't let the Yao Kings snatch them away. No matter what, they will fall into our hand. When the time comes, we will have to trouble you, Brother Lin, to help us, Sacred Leader said with a look of anticipation. You've never gone in before? Lin Fei asked curiously. Don't mention it. It's very dangerous inside. I don't dare to go there a second time. Luckily, there are 3 Yao Kings leading the way this time. We can avoid a lot of danger. Yi Xian and Yi Zixuan were both looking forward to it. After all, this was the primogenitor's ancient tomb. Even people from the Kunlun mystery realm were looking for these primogenitor's ancient tombs. They didn't expect that there would be one in the Divine Dragon mystery realm. Without any hesitation, everyone activated the ice sculptures. For a moment, everyone was fighting with the ice sculptures. The ice sculpture that Lin Fei encountered was very simple. It was cut into 2 by his sword intent. The others didn't have it so easy. Some of them were heavily injured by the ice sculptures. Luckily, they didn't die and stayed outside. They couldn't wait and followed in. After passing through a large area of ice sculptures, a large door appeared. At this moment, the door had already been pushed open. Ha 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 ha, there's actually a treasure inside. This treasure is mine. Chapter 43:16. This was the voice of King Kong. He sounded extremely excited and ecstatic. His voice was also much louder than usual. After that, the sounds of fighting could be heard. Hearing the word magic treasure, many people were moved. Some of these people were natives of the Divine Dragon mystic realm, while some were experts of the Kunlun mystic realm. Naturally, they knew that magic treasures were above magic weapons. Usually, it was hard to even see a magic weapon, let alone a magic treasure. If one could refine a magic treasure, they would truly be invincible. Everyone surged in like a tidal wave. The calmest person present was Lin Fei. Magic treasures were powerful things. However, in Lin Fei's eyes, they were nothing much. In the face of true strength, even a magic treasure could be destroyed. Moreover, the magic treasures in this ancient tomb were probably not of good quality. When everyone entered the ancient tomb, they realized that it was extremely huge and spacious. However, at this moment, the 3 demon kings of King Kong were fighting over the magic treasures. It turned out that at the end of the ancient tomb, there was a stairway to heaven. There were treasures hanging on both sides of the stairway. At the top of the stairway to heaven, there was a stone coffin with a treasure floating above it. There are magic weapons and magic treasures hanging there. Ha 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 ha. The founder is such a good person. He actually left behind magic weapons and magic treasures. As long as I can get my hands on any one of them, my strength will improve tremendously. By then, I will be invincible among those of the same cultivation level. The heavens have eyes. To think that I would be able to see magic weapons and magic treasures in my lifetime. Without any hesitation, everyone rushed towards the treasures. Just like that, a fight began. No matter who it was, they all hoped to get their hands on magic weapons and magic treasures. Even if they could not get a magic treasure, they would at least get a magic weapon. Otherwise, they would have made a wasted trip. Young Master Lin, are those really magic weapons and magic treasures? Yi Zixuan did not go for the magic weapons and magic treasures. She knew that she would only be sending herself to death if she went up. Yes, these are indeed magic artifacts and magic treasures. However, their quality should be very ordinary. However, with them, one's strength will increase by a lot. Basically, those without magic artifacts and magic treasures are no match for them. Lin Fei smiled. At a glance, Lin Fei could tell that these magic tools and magic treasures were indeed very ordinary. For these people, these magic tools and magic treasures were top-notch items. The magic treasures that the 3 demon kings were fighting over seemed to be of decent quality. Now they were fighting fiercely. No one could snatch it away. And at that moment, even the Holy Master made his move. He actually wanted to fight for the treasure as well. It's rare for us to come to the Divine Dragon enigmatic realm, and we've even come to the ancestral cemetery. We have to bring something back no matter what. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll give you a ritual implement. Yi Zixuan suspected that she had heard wrongly. But there are so many people. Don't worry, I'm here. If we don't snatch it now, we probably won't have the time later. Yi Zishuan didn't understand. Could it be that something was going to happen here? No matter what, Yi Zishuan was still very tempted by magic tools. Lin Fei led Yi Xian and Yi Zishuan towards the sky stairway. The treasures on both sides of the heaven stairway were wrapped in a special power, so they had to break the power seal in order to take out the things inside. Whoosh 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 whoosh. Lin Fei's sword will crashed into these experts like flowing water. Those who could fight for the magic tools here were basically at the peak of the innate stage. After all, it wasn't that easy to step into the Qi cultivation realm. The sword will directly crashed into these experts like flowing water. Yi Xian and Lin Fei didn't kill them. They just chased them away. When these innate stage experts felt the sword will that was like flowing water, they were so scared that their scalps went numb. They didn't even have time to react before they were sent flying. They only breathed a sigh of relief after they landed on the ground. Their bodies were numb, but they were glad that they survived. When they saw that the person from beyond the sky, Lin Fei, made a move, everyone didn't have any more thoughts and quickly retreated to the side. This flying sword artifact should be alright for you. But when you step into the Qi cultivation realm, you can use this artifact again. Its power will be even greater. Lin Fei's sword will broke through the defense and swept away the flying sword. He took it down and casually threw it to Yi Zishuan. The quality of these magic tools was indeed very average. The crafting method was very crude. But it was better than nothing. Lin Fei decided to pack all of these magic tools back and give one to each of his innate stage subordinates to increase their strength. If Lin Fei were to craft them, it would be too degrading. He wasn't interested. The sword will opened up a path like flowing water. No one could stop it. One by one, the magic tools were easily collected by Lin Fei. Yi Xian and Yi Zishuan, who were following behind, felt like they were dreaming. It was actually so easy and simple. The four kings in the distance also grabbed a magic tool. But when they turned around and saw Lin Fei's method, they felt that the magic tools in their hands weren't good at all. You're all great experts. Why fight with us over magic tools? Can't you at least leave one for us? If you take all of them like this, we'll have wasted this trip. Our hearts were already thumping in fear. At least take a magic tool to comfort us. That was what they thought. But no one dared to stand out and say anything. They were really afraid. He could only watch helplessly as Lin Fei took away all the treasures. Lin Fei actually managed to collect more than 20 Dharma artifacts in total. It could be said that he took all the magic tools here in one fell swoop. The three great Yao kings were fighting over the magic treasures and were in a heated battle. With the addition of the Sacred Lord, it became very lively. Young Master Lin, are you not tempted by the magic tools? Are you not planning to make a move? Yi Zishuan asked curiously. Lin Fei chuckled. If it's just this magic tool, then forget it. I'm not interested at all. Moreover, do you really think this magic tool is a magic tool? After taking the magic tools, Lin Fei didn't go up again. He didn't look at the stone coffin. Instead, he returned to the empty space below. Ha 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 ha. I finally managed to snatch this magic tool. If I'm not wrong, this magic tool is the 7-colored glazed pagoda left behind by the primogenitor. Long Qianzu laughed. Using his 18 arms and his strong fleshly body, he used the 18 levels of hell to send the 2 monster kings and the Holy Lord flying. One of his arms carried a glazed pagoda. It shone brightly and was very dazzling. One look and anyone could tell that it wasn't an ordinary item. When the Vajra King and Demonic Shadow saw the glazed pagoda, their hearts sank. Their strongest magic tool had been snatched away by Long Qianzu. Damn it, this is really too damn it. After Long Qianzu obtained this magic tool, they were no longer a match for him. He could easily suppress them with a magic tool. Vajra King, Holy Lord, Demonic Shadow, are you guys convinced? And you, the visitor from outer space, Lin Fei? At this moment, Long Qianzu was in high spirits. Chapter 43:17. At that very moment, Long Qianzu felt invincible. With the seven-colored glazed pagoda in hand, he would have the strongest magic treasure. Although Long Qianzu was one of the Yao Kings in the Divine Dragon Secret Dimension, he was not the strongest Yao King. That was because he was still incapable of suppressing the other two Yao Kings. But now, he could finally do it. He spat out a mouthful of blood essence onto the seven-colored glazed pagoda. Then, he used a secret technique to control the seven-colored glazed pagoda. In an instant, the magic treasure floated above Long Qianzu's head. Long Qianzu, to think that you would secretly learn a secret technique to refine magic treasures. You sure hid it well. Looks like you took all the items from the pocket dimension back then. King Vajra swore loudly. Damned monkey, there is no one more stupid than you. Last time, when we went to the pocket dimension, I used you as a blade. How could you have imagined that all the good items there would be swept away by me? As for this treasure used to refine magic treasures, I obtained it from that pocket dimension. Don't you feel envious? A pity you don't have the life to do so. Chen Feng laughed coldly. Swoosh. The seven-colored glazed pagoda smashed down. King Kong raised his 6 arms and a loud rumbling sound rang out. In an instant, he was smashed into the ground. Didn't you claim to be strong? In front of my 7-colored glazed pagoda, you are nothing. Long Qianzu's gaze swept towards Emoing. The 7-colored glazed pagoda moved again and smashed down. Another loud rumbling sound rang out as Emoing was smashed into the ground as well. Trash. Trash that can't even withstand a single blow. Long Qianzu laughed. Sacred Master, are you going to submit or resist? I only want one thing from you. From obtaining the 7-colored glazed pagoda to refining it, to defeating King Kong and Emoing, everything had happened too quickly. It was so fast that no one could react in time. Instead, they were filled with fear and unease. Long Qianzu was already very strong to begin with. Now that he had this magic treasure, his strength could not be underestimated. King Kong and Emoing were smashed down in an instant. If it had been them, they would have died without a doubt. You want me to submit? You need to have the strength to do so. Sacred Master had no intention of submitting. Then I will fulfill your wish. The 7-colored glazed pagoda descended once again. You can obtain a magic treasure, but do you think I, the Holy Lord, don't have a magic treasure? The Sacred Lord snorted coldly and took out a magic treasure. It was a pearl the size of a fist. After the bead flew out, it released a dazzling radiance and blocked the attack of the 7-colored glazed pagoda. Holy Lord, as expected, you still have something good hidden up your sleeve. To think that you would have a defensive magic treasure in your possession. You are finally willing to take it out and use it. I had assumed that you would be hiding it for the rest of your life. Long Qianzu was only a bit surprised. Then he controlled the 7-colored glass to attack again and again. I want to see just how many attacks you can take. No matter how strong your magic treasure's defense is, it is still nothing in front of the 7-colored glazed pagoda. Bang 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 bang. Not only did Long Qianzu control the 7-colored glazed pagoda to attack the Sacred Master, he also pounced forward with his remaining 17 arms. Young Master Lin, what should we do now? I didn't think that Long Qianzu would obtain a magic treasure. Not to mention, it is a magic treasure left behind by the primogenitor. It was one thing for Long Qianzu to obtain a magic treasure, but he was also able to refine it in such a short period of time. Although he was unable to unleash its true power, the power of the magic treasure alone was enough to defeat the Vajra King and demonic shadow. By the looks of it, the Sacred Master would not be able to escape this fate. Don't worry. Long Qianzu will be in trouble soon. Didn't you notice that the power of the primogenitor's magic treasure, the 7-colored glazed pagoda, is very average? It is completely unbefitting of the primogenitor's status. Lin Fei chuckled. He appeared very calm. Yi Zishuan pondered it for a moment. That seemed to be the case. The magic treasure was very strong, capable of instantly defeating the Vajra King and demonic shadow. It was even capable of putting a great deal of pressure on the sacred master. However, she kept getting the feeling that the magic treasure was not as world-shaking as the legends made it out to be. The smart Yi Zishuan seemed to understand something. The sacred master relied on the defensive capabilities of the bead to continuously defend against the attacks of the seven-colored glazed pagoda. Long Qianzu did not realize that as he was attacking the sacred master, his emotions were in turmoil. His entire being seemed to have sunk into a state of rage. The 17 arms kept slapping at him. Any one of those attacks could easily kill a Xiantian realm expert or even a Qi-cultivating realm expert. However, he was actually unable to break the defensive capabilities of the bead. Sacred Master, I will definitely kill you. This broken bead of yours cannot withstand the attacks of my seven-colored glazed pagoda. I will let you witness the true power of the seven-colored glazed pagoda. After attacking for a while, Long Qianzu realized that he was unable to break the defensive capabilities of the bead. Without saying a word, he spat out another mouthful of blood and pushed the seven-colored glazed pagoda forward. This time, the seven-colored light shone brightly and a phantom image appeared. The moment the phantom image appeared, everyone's breathing became hurried. It was as though a huge mountain had appeared in their hearts, pressing down on them. That's the phantom image of the primogenitor. An expert from the sacred lands cried out and knelt down. It was an ancient figure. The moment the phantom image of the primogenitor appeared, the power of the seven-colored glazed pagoda skyrocketed. The defensive bead of the sacred master was finally unable to withstand it. After countless ripples, the bead was finally blasted apart. The sacred master was also severely injured. All the defenses were broken by the seven-colored glazed pagoda and the sacred master was slammed against a huge pillar. See that? You are overestimating yourself. I already have the treasure left behind by the primogenitor, the seven-colored glazed pagoda. How are you going to fight me? Long Qianzu laughed out loud and the seven-colored glazed pagoda in his hand shone even brighter. Right now, your life and death are in my hands. You can either submit to me or be killed by me in one strike. The severely injured sacred master's face was pale. However, at this moment, he laughed out loud and knelt down on the ground. He spread his arms wide open as though he was prostrating himself on the ground. Welcome, primogenitor. The moment the words of the sacred master fell, Long Qianzu's face changed slightly. What do you mean by that? Isn't the primogenitor already dead? Don't tell me he's still alive. Ha 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 ha, who said I'm dead? I'm the primogenitor, and I'll never die. Your physical body is not bad and you have 18 arms. It's perfect for me to possess. A Jingguang flashed out of the seven-colored glazed pagoda and entered Long Qianzu's mind. Hand over your body. Let this old man use your body to ascend the world. His voice was cold and domineering. Long Qianzu's face was ferocious. Dream on. Shukju website. Chapter 43:18. Long Qianzu's voice was extremely pitiful. His face then turned even more menacing, as though he was fighting with something. Long Qianzu, this old man is giving you face by using your body. With your potential and aptitude, it's impossible for you to break through that barrier. Only by using your body will you be able to go further. Don't you want to see how far you can go? You must know that the later stages of cultivation are what people yearn for the most. If nothing goes wrong, it's impossible for you to do so. Holy Master, you be *starred. You lied to me. This is your scheme. You must know that the Holy Master isn't dead. He's in the seven-colored glazed pagoda. You're using us to bait you. Long Qianzu roared. His 18 arms waved continuously, wishing that he could tear the Holy Master's body into pieces. But at this moment, these 18 arms were no longer under his control. There weren't many people present who could remain calm. Even the four kings from the Kunlun mystic realm had a drastic change in expression. Under this pressure, they could not bring themselves to think of leaving at all. This time, they were truly regretting their decision. The primogenitor wasn't dead. He had left behind a strand of consciousness within the seven-colored glazed pagoda, waiting for them to take the bait. Now, they finally understood why the seven-colored glazed pagoda's power was so ordinary. It was clearly placed here to be used as a bait. Yet, Long Qianzu was the first to snatch the seven-colored glazed pagoda. Furthermore, he had the strongest physical body, much stronger than a human's. Furthermore, he had 18 arms. If the primogenitor were to possess this body, his strength would definitely be even more terrifying than before. Who didn't know that the monster race had the strongest physical body? Someone like Long Qianzu was even scarier. This was because he had inherited a trace of the dragon race's bloodline. Compared to him, the human race was far too lacking. I, Long Qianzu, am the strongest. I will never be possessed by you. I'll tear you into pieces. Long Qianzu continued to roar and struggle. However, his struggles were getting weaker and weaker. Young Master Lin, you really guessed it right. There is indeed something wrong with this magic treasure. I didn't expect that there would be a strand of the ancestors' will hidden inside. Yi Zixuan had already covered her mouth, almost unable to speak. The primogenitor, who had been dead for so long, was actually still alive. This is actually very normal. Otherwise, you would think that a treasure like this would be placed in the most obvious place. Lin Fei had sensed that something was wrong from the beginning. Even if the primogenitor had left behind a magic treasure, it definitely wouldn't be this ordinary. It would not be so easily obtained by others. Lin Fei had also noticed Long Qianzu's change, but he didn't warn him. Sure enough, it was just as he had imagined. The dead primogenitor had actually left behind a strand of divine sense to specialize in possession. Moreover, the target of possession was Long Qianzu. It seemed like he had predicted that a demon king would come in. The Dragon 1,000 Feet Demon King was the most outstanding in all aspects, mainly because it was able to unleash its full strength and recover its strength in the shortest time possible. Lin Fei didn't stop them, nor did he want to. He remembered that there were quite a few experts on the same level as the primogenitor. Now that this primogenitor had been revived, it was clear that the other primogenitors had left behind their trump cards. All of a sudden, things became even more interesting. Lin Fei was a lively person. Now that he had the God Tree of Life to recover his strength was recovering day by day. Even if these primogenitors were to cause trouble, Lin Fei had nothing to fear. More importantly, Lin Fei felt that something big was about to happen since Shi had used such a secret technique. Long Qianzu's struggle didn't last for too long. In the end, he silently stopped moving and floated in midair. This didn't take long. In less than a minute, Long Qianzu slowly opened his eyes. When the possessed Long Qianzu opened his eyes, his gaze became extremely ancient, as though he had experienced a long time. At this moment, Long Qianzu was no longer Long Qianzu. He had been replaced by the primogenitor. This body is not bad. It's much better than this old man's previous body. Just 18 arms can increase this old man's strength by more than 18 times. The possessed Long Qianzu shook his head and moved his body. Kacha-kacha sounds came from all over his body. Saint Master, you've done well. After so many years, you've finally brought him in. The Saint Master stood up and said respectfully. His originally pale face had regained its rosy color. Master, this is what I should do. Without you, I wouldn't have become the sacred master. It's all thanks to these extraterrestrial visitors. If not for them, it wouldn't have been so easy for Long Qianzu to come in by himself. The Vajra King and Demonic Shadow, who had just climbed out of the ground, also saw this scene. Without saying a word, they fled to the left and right. It was too scary. It turned out that this was a trap left by the primogenitor. They originally thought that there would be something good in the primogenitor's graveyard. Who would have thought that it was a trap that could take someone's life? Long Qianzu was in high spirits. He had just flaunted his prowess for a short while, and now, he had been snatched away. This made them realize that if they didn't leave now, they would be completely finished later. The Vajra King and Demonic Shadow were also smart. They each chose a direction. No matter how powerful the primogenitor was, it was impossible for him to keep both of them here at once. Long Qianzu glanced at them indifferently. "Have I given you permission to leave?" 2 rays of holy light directly hit the Vajra King and Demonic Shadow. With a crashing sound, both of them were instantly frozen. Both of them were Qi refinement experts, but they were instantly frozen by Long Qianzu's spell. The Sacred Master casts spells, but compared to Long Qianzu's spell, the power was on a completely different level. At the very least, the Sacred Master didn't have the strength to confine the Vajra King and Demonic Shadow in one go. "I don't know who still wants to leave in front of this old man. You can step forward, and this old man will fulfill your wish." A cracking sound was heard. The Vajra King and Demonic Shadow were severely injured, and they collapsed to the ground. Their bodies were covered with frightening cracks that looked like ravines. If it wasn't for their lingering breath, everyone would think that they were dead. This time, no one dared to move. "I can smell the aura of the Kunlun mystic realm on you. It seems that the 4 of you came from the Kunlun mystic realm. However, your strength is too weak." Long Qianzu's gaze swept across the 4 kings. With this sweep, the 4 kings knelt on the ground with a plop. They couldn't bear it at all. "Your strength is too weak." A ray of holy light landed on them, and the 4 kings groaned and fell to the ground. "May I ask, how much of your strength do you still have?" Remember the mobile version. Chapter 43:19. Suddenly, a voice rang out. His words pulled everyone back from their panic and uneasiness. Only then did they realize that the visitor from the heavens, Lin Fei, had spoken. But why did his words sound so unbelievable? The 3 demon kings had been completely wiped out. The Holy Lord was this ancestor's disciple. The 4 kings from the Kunlun secret realm were also heavily injured. No matter how they looked at it, Long Qianzu was the strongest. No, it should be Ancestor Long Qianzu. Lin Fei chuckled, lightening the atmosphere. Could it be that this ancestor was bluffing? But if he was bluffing, he had only heavily injured the King Kong and Shadow Demon King. The Holy Lord said respectfully, "Master, this person is the visitor from the heavens, Lin Fei. He's a rather mysterious kid. I suspect that he saw through it from the start, but just didn't say anything." The primogenitor dragon 1,000 feet looked over with a hint of tyranny in its eyes. "So you're from the secular world. You sure talk big, but you don't know your place. Is this a place where you can speak as you please?" A beam of holy light shot out from the ground. This beam of holy light came out of nowhere. There was no movement at all, as if it had appeared out of thin air. "You're a dignified ancestor. Is there a need to be so sneaky? Isn't it perfectly justifiable?" Lin Fei snorted. His sword intent flowed like water and protected Lin Fei, as well as Yi Zixuan and Yi Xian. Layers of ripples appeared on the flowing water of the sword intent, easily blocking the attack of the holy light. He's a sword cultivator expert. His sword intent has reached such a high level of mastery. Defend. There was a loud rumbling sound. Beams of holy light shot out from the ground once again. In an instant, the area where Yi Xian was turned into a holy light attack. Ancestor Long Qianzu's technique enveloped the area, not giving this sword cultivator a chance to attack. He wanted to see what this secular expert was capable of. Could he be stronger than the King Kong and Shadow Demon King? Even they weren't a match for his attack. Yi Xian and Yi Zixuan, who were in the middle of the Holy Light's attack, turned pale. However, they were obviously a little excited. This was the ancestor's attack. More importantly, Lin Fei had actually managed to block it. Relying on his sword intent, he had easily blocked it. Primogenitor, is this all you've got? You can't even break through my defense, and you still have the nerve to pretend here? I'll stand here and fight for half an hour. If you can't break through, then you're just a puppy. Lin Fei laughed. A trace of unease flashed across Long Qianzu's eyes. The spell attack did not heavily injure the other party, nor did it kill him. Judging from the other party's tone, he seemed to be unscathed. You are the disciple of the old ancestor of the Sky Sword Mountain. Other than him, I don't think there is anyone else who could cultivate the sword intent to such a level. As the holy light receded, the ancestor dragon 1,000 feet squinted its eyes. Your eyesight doesn't look good. Who said I'm from the Heavenly Sword Mountain? Do you really have to be from the Heavenly Sword Mountain to be able to cultivate sword intent? Can't I become a self-taught genius? I think you'd better hurry up and attack. Could it be that you don't have the guts to attack? It would consume too much of your energy. Don't think that you can control Long Qianzu's body on the surface. How could Lin Fei not see that the primogenitor was not as strong as he had imagined? He had yet to completely control Long Qianzu's body. Just now, he had unleashed his ultimate move. He wanted to gain the upper hand by making the first move. After all, everyone had witnessed the might of the primogenitor. Even the two strongest Yao Kings were no match for him, let alone the others. The deterrence was quite good. At the very least, everyone was afraid and no longer dared to have any other thoughts. Now that he had encountered Lin Fei, the situation had changed. Those few attacks were all genuine foundation establishment technique. That kid's sword intent defense is impenetrable. There are no flaws to break through. I can't break through it for a while. Due to that, Progenitor Dragon 1,000 Feet was unable to see through his opponent. His opponent was even able to tell him his greatest weakness. If you don't believe me, I'll just attack. At the same time, I can see for myself how strong the rumored primogenitor is. Hua 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 hua. The sky was filled with sword shadows that shot out like a colorful stream of light. Previously, Lin Fei had been attacked by the group of Holy Light. Now, it was Progenitor Dragon 1,000 Feet's turn to be surrounded by the sword intent. The dense sword shadows blotted out the sky, causing everyone to panic. Even Progenitor Dragon 1,000 Feet's face sank. This was completely different from the plan. Even Sacred Lord felt the same. He had underestimated the strength of this outsider, Lin Fei. Bang 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 bang. Dragon 1,000 Feet's 18 arms pushed forward. Even the 7-colored glazed pagoda landed on his head, emitting a brilliant light. The sword shadows that Lin Fei had released were like rain. They did not stop at all. Progenitor Dragon 1,000 Feet could still block them, but Sacred Lord did not have it so easy. In an instant, he was sent flying by the sword shadows. Bloody wounds appeared all over his body. King Kong and Demonic Shadow crawled out at this time. Their injuries were severe. After all, that attack just now had directly torn apart their physical defenses and injured their foundations. Now, seeing the sky full of sword shadows attacking Progenitor Dragon 1,000 Feet, the two of them looked at Lin Fei with fear and wariness. At the beginning, they had looked down on this person. Although they were a little wary, they were far from being as fearful as they were now. An expert. He was definitely a hidden expert. Did he have to toy with them like this? For some reason, they felt very happy now. At least they could hold back this huge threat. Progenitor Dragon 1,000 Feet seemed to be in trouble. What were they waiting for? Hurry up and leave. Monster Kings were all very cautious. King Kong and Demonic Shadow slipped away just like that. Those who had followed Sacred Lord also slipped away. It was better not to watch this kind of battle. If they were not careful, they would die without even knowing how they were affected. Primogenitor Dragon Qianzu relied on the strength of his fleshly body to blast away the sword shadows. However, the sword shadows were so dense that they covered the sky and the earth. They were so powerful that he could not break through them all. Instead, wounds appeared on his body one after another. His expression grew more and more serious. This was a bad start. Friend, let's talk this out. Didn't you come to the divine dragon mystic realm to find treasures? I know the whereabouts of a treasure that can definitely satisfy you. It's the god blood that you can't bear to part with. No, it should be the dragon god blood. Blood flowed from the corner of Dragon Thousand Feet's mouth. His body was covered in sword wounds. Fortunately, Dragon Thousand Feet's physical body was very strong. The sword shadows were condensed from sword intent. Naturally, they were not as strong as sword intent, especially when they were divided. Chapter 43:20. The primogenitor's words shocked many people. He was a powerful primogenitor, yet he said such words to Lin Fei. Didn't this mean that he was afraid of the alien Lin Fei? You are an expert primogenitor, an invincible existence hundreds of years ago. No matter what, there should be a great battle. Could it be that his opponent had hit a sore spot? Or could it be that this body was not perfectly fused together? It was difficult for him to display Long Qianzu's full combat power. Lin Fei's sword intent attacks did not stop. They rained down on Long Qianzu like a meteor shower. You can scheme for a physical body. I have to discount your words. I think I should beat you half to death first. Lin Fei chuckled and did not show any signs of stopping. Long Qianzu was suffering. Although he had occupied this body, he could not perfectly fuse it. He could not perfectly unleash his power, so he was at a disadvantage. Moreover, Lin Fei's sword intent was not that simple. It possessed an extremely strong penetrative power. A single sword intent might not be a big deal, but what about tens, hundreds, or even thousands of sword intents? The sword intents that filled the sky would definitely cause Long Qianjing to experience a sour feeling. Without saying anything, Long Qianzu shook off the sword intents and rushed towards the sarcophagus. Did I say that you can leave? The sword intent formed a barrier in front of Long Qianzu. Long Qianzu hit the sword intent head-on. God knows how many sword intents had counterattacked his body, leaving wounds all over his body. Although Long Qianzu's body was very strong, he still suffered a lot. Alien Lin Fei, are you sure you want to fight me to the end? This old man advises you not to do this. Although your sword intent is very strong, this old man's means are not as simple as you think. Let's all take a step back. It's good for you, good for me, and good for everyone. Long Qianzu looked at Lin Fei with even more resentment. It wasn't easy for him to occupy Long Qianzu's body. However, before he could completely control it, he had encountered such a powerful fellow. Moreover, he was a sword cultivator. He was as disgusting as the one from Sky Sword Mountain. I'm not interested in the past. I just feel that there should be a lot of secrets in this sacred mountain. As the person who knows the most, you can't possibly leave, right? Otherwise, who am I going to ask? Lin Fei chased after him unhurriedly, and the sky full of sword shadows attacked again. However, this time, the sword intent seemed to be even sharper than before. Every time, it would strike at the wound. Even though the progenitor dragon's 18 arms were pushing it to the limit, it was still unable to block these airtight attacks. In the past, he had fought against that person from Heavenly Sword Mountain many times, but his sword intent had not been this brutal. Not only did it have extremely penetrative power, but it also had a powerful destructive power. Once it entered the body, it would instantly cause a huge chain reaction. If it had been a weak body, it would have been turned into a hornet's nest in a single exchange. After Long Qianzu was pinned down by Lin Fei, Long Qianzu's expression turned ugly. He couldn't think of a good way to deal with this sword intent. If he relied on his powerful body, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Yi Xian and Yi Zixuan looked at each other. That powerful ancestor of the Kunlun secret realm was actually not a match for Lin Fei. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, who would believe that it was true? Now that this ancestor has been resurrected, do you think the other ancestors are still alive? Yi Zishuan suddenly said something. After this trip back, I must make things clear to the sect. Who knows, something big might happen in the Kunlun secret realm. The appearance of the ancestor was no less than the descent of a supreme being expert. There were 6 supreme beings in the Kunlun secret realm. Now that there was another ancestor, there would be a total of 7 supreme beings. They would definitely be able to affect the situation in the Kunlun secret realm. Long Qianzu was having a hard time resisting. Lin Fei, you forced this old man to do this. Since you won't let this old man live, this old man won't let you have it easy either. He, since you're preparing to unleash your ultimate move, bring it out. Let's see what other ultimate moves you have. Let me have a taste of them. After all, you're the ancestor. Your current moves are still a little too weak. That's right. The current progenitor Dragon 1000 Feet was indeed too weak in Lin Fei's eyes. Although it could still unleash the power of a foundation establishment cultivator, it was still too weak. Although he could also unleash the strength of a foundation building realm cultivator, his foundation building realm strength seemed a little too weak. It was as though his strength had been greatly reduced. Lin Fei had not fought with the 6 supreme beings in the Kunlun secret realm before. Naturally, he didn't know how strong they were. But he also knew that they were in the foundation building realm. But this ancestor Long Qianzu's strength was indeed not as strong as he imagined. 13 transformations of the Dragon God. Long Qianzu snorted coldly and unleashed a powerful secret technique. Fresh blood flowed from his body. Dragon scales emerged from his body and covered his entire body. Even his face was covered in dragon scales. Long Qianzu's voice turned extremely cold. This old man can finally unleash the 13 transformations of the Dragon God. The feeling of being strong is really good. As expected of the Dragon God bloodline. Whoosh! Long Qianzu's figure charged forward. All 18 of his arms were covered in dragon scales as he attacked. The moment he opened his mouth, dragon might roared out from Long Qianzu's mouth. The entire graveyard was filled with a whistling sound. This sound was like a primordial dragon emerging from the depths of the abyss, rushing straight into everyone's heart. Bang! 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 One by one, the experts vomited blood and fell to the ground. Even King Kong and Mo-ing were the same. Their faces were pale. The suppression of the bloodline caused them to lie on the ground, unable to move at all. Dragon God! This is definitely the might of the Dragon God. Long Qianzu's 18 arms turned incomparably sharp, shattering the sword intent one by one. No matter how strong Lin Fei's sword intent was, when it landed on Long Qianzu's body, it was blocked by the dragon scales, leaving only a few white marks. This is this old man's trump card. I can't bear to use it, but since you don't know the meaning of death, this old man will fulfill your wish. I'll let you see the means of the Dragon God. Now that this old man is impervious to swords and spears, even your sword intent can't break this old man's defense. This old man wants to see what makes you think you can fight with me. Long Qianzu's attack was like a torrential storm. His strength had increased by more than 10 times. It had definitely skyrocketed. 18 arms came crashing down, and each arm had the power of a foundation establishment powerhouse. If I'm not wrong, you took away Long Qianzu's body to unleash the 13 transformations of the Dragon God. I wonder how many transformations you'll be able to unleash. The flowing sword intent blocked in front of Long Qianzu. If Long Qianzu's attack was like a torrential storm, then Lin Fei's sword intent defense was watertight. One hard and one soft. It seemed like neither could do anything to the other. Chapter 43:21. After Long Qianzu used the 13 transformations of the Dragon God, his strength had indeed soared. But even so, Long Qianzu still couldn't easily break through the layer of sword intent defense. The sword intent was like flowing water, layer after layer. Even if he broke through one layer, a new layer would immediately appear in front of him. There was no end to it. That was a very sad thing to happen to him. Long Qianzu had planned to use Long Qianzu's body for a long time to use the 13 transformations of the Dragon God, but he had been very careful. Fortunately, Long Qianzu had obtained the body in the end. But when he thought about how he had failed on his first try, how he still couldn't break through Lin Fei's sword intent defense after using the 13 transformations of the Dragon God. His opponent's sword intent defense was as stable as Mount Tai. This made Long Qianzu more and more flustered. Could it be that he really couldn't suppress this guy? Could it be that he really had to use his strongest move? That was his true trump card. Once he used it, it would be gone. Long Qianzu had been in a very good mood when he had obtained control of Long Qianzu's body. But now, he was in a very bad mood. Why didn't this guy show up earlier? Why did he have to show up now? His plan back then had been completely wrong. Your 13 transformations of the Dragon God is still lacking. You can't even break through this small layer of sword intent. You can only say that you're unlucky. Lin Fei said indifferently. Do you really not want the Dragon God blood? That's a rare treasure. Once you consume it, your body will instantly reach a new level. It might even let you step into the Supreme Being Foundation establishment level. I can tell you an even more shocking secret. Do you really not want to know? Long Qianzu kept bombarding the sword intent defense, trying to distract his opponent with words so that he could find an opportunity to attack. What kind of person was Lin Fei? Even if it was the Dragon God blood, it wasn't real God blood. He naturally wouldn't be moved by it. Lin Fei probably wouldn't be moved even if he had the divine snow blood in front of him. Forget it. I'm not interested in that thing. I'm just interested in you. Let's talk about the past. Why do we have to fight here? Look, almost everyone has run away. Lin Fei said casually as he allowed Long Qianzu to attack him. The more Long Qianzu fought, the more anxious he became. Every strike from the 18 arms was as heavy as 1,000 caddies, but they could not break through the defense of the sword intent. After Long Qianzu launched another fierce attack, he instantly left behind an afterimage and landed on top of the sarcophagus. If you don't let this old man have an easy time, this old man won't let you have an easy time either. Let's all die together. The stone coffin opened. Long Qianzu jumped off the cliff. A loud rumbling sound followed closely behind. Lin Fei didn't expect Long Qianzu to be so cunning. He actually ran back into the sarcophagus. He didn't even want the 7-colored glazed pagoda outside. Not good, let's go. There was a loud noise. The ground exploded. A huge skeleton drilled out from the ground. The ground kept cracking, forming a huge crater. It was the skeleton of a divine dragon. It was huge and over 1,000 meters long. The entire primogenitor's ancient tomb collapsed in an instant. Swoosh. The moment the divine dragon's skeleton appeared, the boundless dragon might cause the remaining people to look at each other in dismay. They couldn't resist it at all, and they were all suppressed there, unable to move. Lin Fei recognized that this was a divine dragon. He didn't expect to see a divine dragon in the divine dragon mystic land. What surprised Lin Fei was that this divine dragon wasn't a powerful divine dragon. Its bones were still white, not gold or dark gold. Lin Fei had seen bone dragons before. He had even fought bone dragons before. The bone dragon before him was only average in terms of strength. Even so, it was still very powerful. At the very least, Lin Fei felt a certain amount of pressure. This was the only thing that could make Lin Fei feel pressured. Lin Fei, aren't you very powerful? In that case, you can have some fun with this bone dragon. Originally, this old man was prepared to use it as a trump card, but unfortunately, I met you. In that case, this old man can only use it in advance. Good luck. There was a divine dragon's skeleton under the primogenitor's ancient tomb. Lin Fei didn't notice it at all. At least the primogenitor dragon Qianzu had schemed against him. The primogenitor is so weak. If I'm not wrong, even if you let me know the whereabouts of the divine dragon's blood, I'll still have to fight this divine dragon. Yi Xian and Yi Zishuan had never seen such a huge divine dragon. Could even move. Its dragon might was so strong that they couldn't move. Lin Fei came over. He protected the two with his sword will and flew out. With a sweep of the bone dragon's huge body, it swung its tail. Everywhere it passed, there were ruins everywhere. The divine dragon's attack was much stronger than Long Qianzu's. It was filled with overbearing might. This divine dragon was extremely fast, even faster than Long Qianzu. Lin Fei's speed wasn't slow, but he was still hit by the dragon's tail. A large amount of sword will defense collapsed and landed on his body. This was Lin Fei's first time being hit by the divine dragon. In just a moment, he felt as if his body was about to collapse. I underestimated this divine dragon. It's actually stronger than the foundation building realm. Dragon ancestor Dragon Qianzu, who was hiding in the dark, didn't leave. He wanted to see Lin Fei killed by the divine dragon. He's fine? This guy's body is so strong. Dragon ancestor Dragon Qianzu took a deep breath. He wasn't that lucky when he was hit by the divine dragon. His body was destroyed and he had to escape into the seven-colored glazed pagoda to survive. Seeing that Lin Fei was fine after taking the attack, it was really infuriating. Even a monster king would be destroyed by a divine dragon's attack, let alone a human expert. But dragon ancestor Dragon Qianzu guessed wrong. It was ridiculously strong. This old man doesn't believe that his body can always be this strong. The divine dragon seemed to have its eyes on Lin Fei's group. It attacked continuously, its huge tail sweeping left and right. In the blink of an eye, the primogenitor's tomb was reduced to ruins. All the traps were destroyed by the divine dragon's attacks. Lin Fei pushed lightly, and Yi Xian and Yi Zishuan flew out like two rays of light, landing lightly in the distance. Ancestor, I have to thank you. You left a divine dragon here, and even used a secret technique to activate it. Seems like you've obtained quite a lot of good stuff. Although this divine dragon looks huge, it's pretty good for traveling. Lin Fei didn't retreat. Instead, he faced the divine dragon. It's been a long time since I used this dark technique. I wonder if it'll work. Lin Fei's lips curled into a smile. This smile seemed to be bad in the eyes of dragon ancestor Dragon Qianzu. Chapter 43-22. The bone dragon's huge body rushed out of the sacred mountain, blotting out the sky. The moment it appeared, everyone on the sacred mountain was scared out of their wit. They had never seen such a huge bone dragon before. The bone dragon's aura was so oppressive that they couldn't breathe. All of them lay on the ground, their minds blank. It was just a skeleton, yet it could fly and release a terrifying dragon aura. No expert could withstand the dragon aura released by the bone dragon. Although the bone dragon didn't have a body of flesh and blood, its huge frame was the most powerful weapon in battle. Houses and palaces collapsed wherever it passed. Dust flew everywhere, and more than half of the sacred mountain turned into ruins in the blink of an eye. No one had expected that there would be a bone dragon under the sacred mountain. The Vajra monarch and Emoing, who had just escaped from the ancient tomb, looked at each other and felt even more uneasy. They had finally thought that they could escape, yet another bone dragon had appeared. This bone dragon was terrifyingly powerful. The suppression from their bloodlines made it impossible for them to even think about fighting. Meanwhile, progenitor Dragon Thousand Feet had been hiding in the dark, but he felt a trace of panic and uneasiness when he saw the smile on Lin Fei's face. If it weren't for the series of events that had happened before, progenitor Dragon Thousand Feet wouldn't have cared. But now, he couldn't care less. He had a feeling that something bad had happened, but he quickly cheered himself on. No matter how powerful this outsider, Lin Fei was, could he subdue this bone dragon? Now, this bone dragon didn't have a body of flesh and blood, and was only a skeleton, but it was still a peerless expert. Everywhere it passed, there was nothing it could do. Even the sacred mountain couldn't do anything to this bone dragon. This old man must have been too suspicious. When Lin Fei saw the bone dragon appear, he was indeed a little surprised and astonished. Then, he smiled. It had been a long time since Lin Fei had seen such a dark creature. He didn't expect to see one in the divine dragon's secret territory. Although its strength wasn't very high, it could still be a helper. Fortunately, Dragon Thousand-Foot Primogenitor was hiding far away and didn't know Lin Fei's thoughts. Otherwise, he would have been dumbfounded. In the other world, Lin Fei had fought with these dark creatures many times and knew how to control them. Darkness Totem. Lin Fei formed a seal with both hands, and a mysterious seal flew out from his hands and hit the bone dragon. After the imprint landed on the bone dragon, it was easily shaken off by the bone dragon and split into pieces. Perhaps it was because of this, the bone dragon directly rushed towards Lin Fei. Whoosh! This bone dragon actually spewed out black dragon flames. The earth and even the void were corroded in the blink of an eye. What did this kid do to the bone dragon? He actually forced the bone dragon to use its most powerful dragon flame. 1,000 feet sucked in a breath of cold air. One had to know that he had died under this dragon flame in the past. There was no way he could resist it at all. In just a moment, his physical body had been completely destroyed. The memory of this dragon flame was still fresh in 1,000 Feet's mind. It was no different from a nightmare that he would never forget for the rest of his life. With the bone dragon's dragon flame, this kid is definitely finished. No matter how strong his physical body is, can he withstand the might of this dragon flame? This is an existence that can corrode the void and even the earth. Lin Fei did not take it head-on. He knew how powerful the dragon flame was. If he was at his peak, he would naturally have nothing to fear. But right now, he was still far from that level. Sword intent after sword intent appeared in front of him as he retreated rapidly. The dragon flame was indeed the bone dragon's strongest move, as it continuously corroded the sword intent's defenses. In just a single exchange, dozens of Yi Xiaolong's defenses had been destroyed at an unbelievable speed. Fortunately, Lin Fei managed to resolve it in the end. Lin Fei did not idle around as he continued forming seals. One seal after another was formed, landing on the bone dragon's body. In the beginning, the bone dragon was still able to break free. But as the number of seals increased, the bone dragon's speed began to slow down. This kid seems to be trying to control the bone dragon. How could he have such a move? We can't let him succeed. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu was getting anxious. This was the strongest killer move of the divine dragon's secret ground. He wanted to use this bone dragon to deal with this outsider, Lin Fei. If Lin Fei were to control the bone dragon, he would have to run for his life. The moment Ancestor Dragon Qianzu appeared with a swoosh, a torrent of sword intent surged forth, instantly turning into a meteor shower that kept him at bay. Not good. It's this move again. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu was most wary of sword intent attacks. It wasn't easy to break through, and he would suffer if he tried to take it head-on. This was the most disgusting move of all. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu pushed his 18 arms to their limit. Even so, he was still unable to break free from the sword intent attacks. Compared to the previous sword intent attack, this sword intent attack was actually a 5-line attack. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu attacked furiously with the 5 elements: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Under the combination of the 5 elements, its power skyrocketed. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu was completely dumbfounded. He actually grasped the 5 elements? What the hell? This is going to be troublesome. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu didn't say anything and turned to run. If it was an ordinary sword intent, then it would be fine. Ancestor Dragon 1,000 Feet could still resist it. But if it was the 5 elements sword intent, then it would not be easy to resist it. It would be a huge loss. The old man from the Sky Sword Mountain had never managed to cultivate the 5 elements sword essence. However, this kid was able to display it so easily. For a moment, Ancestor Dragon Qianzu felt that he was old. He was actually no match for this kid. Or was this kid an old monster and not as young as he thought? Ancestor Dragon Qianzu didn't dare to think about it. Right now, he just wanted to run for his life. If he didn't run now, he wouldn't have a chance if this kid really controlled the Bone Dragon. Lin Fei sent one imprint after another on the Bone Dragon's body. These were all darkness magic, specifically used to control the Bone Dragon and other creatures of darkness. Although the Bone Dragon's resistance was still quite strong, it could not withstand the imprints. One after another, the Bone Dragon's speed gradually slowed down, and the strength of its struggle also weakened. Finally, the dark magic was successfully imprinted on its body. The Bone Dragon completely stopped its attacks. Lin Fei somersaulted and landed on the Bone Dragon's head. Dragon Qianzu, don't be in such a hurry to leave. Let's have a good chat. Swish. The Bone Dragon actually tore the void apart. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu, who was running for his life, had already escaped from Sacred Mountain. A voice rang out from behind. Next, he saw the void move and a Bone Dragon charged out. It opened its mouth and breathed out dragon flames. Chapter 43:23. The moment Ancestor Dragon Qianzu saw this, he broke out in cold sweat. Even his voice was trembling. You've activated the void-traversing ability of a Bone Dragon. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu was someone who had seen much of the world. Naturally, he knew that the strongest ability of the dragon race was their spatial abilities. However, after the death of this Bone Dragon, he had never activated this ability again. To think that this outsider, Lin Fei, would be able to activate the void-traversing ability so easily. Even though it was a short distance, this short distance was enough to give Ancestor Dragon Qianzu a huge amount of pressure. After spitting out a ball of dragon flame, a huge stretch of the void was corroded. No matter how fast Ancestor Dragon Qianzu ran, he was still no match for the Bone Dragon. The Bone Dragon spat out a mouthful of dragon flame from the skies. It almost took the life of Ancestor Dragon Qianzu. With a sweep of his tail, Ancestor Dragon Qianzu was sent flying. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu landed heavily on the huge mountain, causing his entire body to cave in. The Bone Dragon swung his tail through the air once more. A tremendous amount of power came crashing down on Ancestor Dragon Qianzu's body. To begin with, Ancestor Dragon Qianzu's physical body wasn't much to begin with. It wasn't a perfect fit. Therefore, this strike caused him to spit out fresh blood. Hold on. Don't attack anymore. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu could no longer sit still upon seeing that the Bone Dragon was about to spit out dragon flame. Even if he were to control Ancestor Dragon Qianzu's physical body, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Half of his body would be crippled. Now we're going to have a proper conversation. Weren't you running really fast just now? Go ahead and run. Since the Divine Dragon's secret grounds isn't small, I'll let you run one round before we talk. Lin Fei stood on the head of the Bone Dragon and looked down at Ancestor Dragon Qianzu. By now, they were far away from the Sage Mountain. Ancestor Dragon Qianzu coughed out a mouthful of fresh blood. Brother Lin, let's talk this out. Killing this old man is useless to you. Why don't you keep this old man alive? I'll tell you everything you want to know. I even know those big secrets. Among the primogenitors, Dragon Qianzu smiled bitterly. Lin Fei did not directly kill progenitor Dragon 1,000 Feet. Naturally, he wanted to know some of the past events from its mouth. He wanted to explore the Divine Dragon Arcane Realm again. Lin Fei did not think that the Divine Dragon Arcane Land was that simple. There was the primogenitor's ancient tomb and the appearance of a divine dragon. Although it was just a skeleton, it was far more than all the secrets of the Divine Dragon's secret realm. Therefore, he felt that the progenitor dragon 1,000-legged must know some other big secret. That was why Lin Fei had spared the ancestor dragon's life. The ancestor dragon's strength had already reached the foundation establishment stage, but his foundation establishment wasn't truly stable, so he couldn't fight for long. Otherwise, Lin Fei wouldn't have been able to crush the ancestor dragon's 1,000 feet so easily. He had to thank the ancestor dragon 1,000-legged for giving him such a generous gift. To think that there was a dark creature in the form of a bone dragon in the divine dragon mystical land. Lin Fei might not be able to deal with other things, but this dark creature really had a way. With this bone, it would be a great help. At least when it came to traveling, no one would be able to catch up. Even if the ancestor dragon 1,000-legged ran 3 laps, it would still be able to catch up easily. This was the bone dragon, the dragon clan's most proficient spatial ability. Then tell me what other big secrets there are in the divine dragon secret realm. I don't think that the primogenitor's ancient tomb is a secret. You purposely released all the secrets about the divine dragon secret realm to lure us here. You've been planning this for a long time. The ancestor dragon 1,000-legged's plan was indeed very good. It had been eyeing the demon king dragon 1,000-legged's body for a long time, but it had no way of obtaining it. Now that it had borrowed the demon king dragon 1,000-legged's body, it finally got what it wanted. Unfortunately, it had encountered Lin Fei, and everything had gone to waste. Given the current situation, the ancestor dragon 1,000-legged did not dare to hide anything anymore. Who knew if the bone dragon 1,000-legged would spit out a mouthful of dragon flame? With its current heavily injured body, 2 or 3 mouthfuls of dragon flame would be enough to turn it into ashes. This time, there was no chance for it to escape. Previously, it could still make use of the 7-colored glazed pagoda. But this time, it was completely hopeless. Actually, there is no divine dragon blood in the divine dragon secret realm. The most important thing about the divine dragon secret realm is that it leads to the Kunlun secret realm. Leads to the Kunlun secret realm? Lin Fei was a little surprised. This was obviously the divine dragon secret realm. How did it have anything to do with the Kunlun secret realm? Back then, the divine dragon secret realm was also a part of the Kunlun secret realm. It was just that it was separated from the Kunlun secret realm after a great battle between experts. They even set up a formation here. This place is a holy land for cultivation. If you cultivate for a year in the Kunlun secret realm, you can cultivate for 5 years here. Ever since he entered, Lin Fei felt that the divine dragon secret realm was different. If he cultivated here, he would definitely be able to get twice the results with half the effort. Unexpectedly, it was as he had imagined. If he could cultivate for a year in the Kunlun secret realm, he could cultivate for 5 years here. It was indeed worthy of being called a holy land. Not killing the ancestor dragon 1,000-legged was somewhat meaningful. At the very least, this fellow knew some secret. Continue. Just this alone isn't enough. Lin Fei felt that the story behind this would be very interesting. The ancestor dragon 1,000-legged could still feel the murderous aura of the skeletal dragon. He knew that if he didn't give a rough explanation today, he would definitely not have a good ending. The divine dragon secret realm connecting to the Kunlun secret realm is just one of the secret. Back then, this place was a holy land for cultivation. However, the most important thing is that there is a real teleportation gate in the divine dragon secret realm. It can be used for long-distance teleportation to reach the so-called cultivation world. The ancestor dragon 1,000-legged took a deep breath. He wanted to see if this visitor from the heavens, Lin Fei, would be moved. However, he was very surprised because there was no change in Lin Fei's expression. Don't be fooled by the unfathomable strength of the few supremes in the Kunlun secret realm. If they don't enter the cultivation world, they will reach the end of their lifespan. In the end, they will die of old age. All of us have the same wish, which is to enter the cultivation world. Only by entering the cultivation world will we be able to raise our strength to the next level. This news was nothing surprising to Lin Fei. He really didn't care much about fighting and killing. To Lin Fei, the long-distance teleportation gate was something that he could do without. You've been here for so long. Didn't you activate the long-distance teleportation gate to head to the cultivation world? Lin Fei was very curious. The ancestor dragon thousand-legged replied leisurely. I also wish that it was true. However, I discovered an even bigger secret. This long-distance teleportation gate is unique. It's not from our side to the cultivation world. Instead, it's from the cultivation world to our side. Therefore, after a long period of searching, I discovered that there's a really big secret in the Divine Dragon's secret realm. Chapter 43-24. Initially, Ancestor Dragon Thousand Feet hoped that his secrets could pique Lin Fei's interest. However, the outcome surprised him. Lin Fan did not seem to have changed at all. Did he really not care about the cultivation world? Did he not care about those secrets at all? If any of these secrets were to be spread to the Kunlun Mystery Land, those powers would all be dumbfounded. It's good to hear about the big secrets. Let me broaden my horizons. What other big secrets are there in the Divine Dragon Mystery Land? Lin Fei was not too shocked. Fortunately, there was no one around at this time, so the news would not spread. Therefore, this secret was only known to Lin Fei and Ancestor Dragon Thousand Feet. Just as Lin Fei had expected, Ancestor Dragon Thousand Feet knew quite a lot of secrets. He had probably researched a lot in the Divine Dragon Mystery Land. I think that the Divine Dragon Mystery Land, including the Kunlun Mystery Land, is actually a prison. We are all people locked up in this prison. The progenitor Dragon Thousand Feet's voice became a little excited, but also a little angry and unwilling. All sorts of emotions tangled together, causing its entire face to distort. If you guys can't break through, just say that others have limited your potential. To put it bluntly, it's your own potential. If you have enough potential, even if this is a prison, you can still break through. Lin Fei shook his head. This secret was really not that big of a secret. If it's just these secrets, then forget it. I'm really not interested. Let's talk a bit more. You're the primogenitor, yet you survived. It's impossible for the other primogenitors to disappear or die for no reason. Tell me, what do you think? Lin Fei asked again. Let's talk about it after you survive. The face of the ancestor Dragon Thousand Feet turned cold. In an instant, his entire body expanded, and a destructive force swept out, instantly enveloping Lin Fei. At this moment, Ancestor Dragon Thousand Feet had detonated his entire body. After the destructive force swept out, the entire place was turned into ruins. One could only imagine how strong this force was. The sword intent flowed like water, but Lin Fei remained as still as a mountain. The corners of his lips curled up slightly. It must have been hard on you to stall for some secrets, but at least I can make you happy. That's more interesting. From the beginning to the end, Lin Fei didn't believe that Ancestor Dragon Thousandfoot would be so convinced, so he must have some other thoughts. In Lin Fei's eyes, this little trick was simply too childish. Therefore, he simply beat the progenitor Dragon Thousand Feet at its own game and allowed it to use its secret technique. The power of the secret technique was very strong, but it could not hurt Lin Fei at all. At most, it was just a fluctuation in his blood qi. On the other hand, the primogenitor Dragon Thousand Feet was definitely severely injured. It might take a long time for it to recover. Even if he could recover his strength, he would definitely be weaker than he was now. However, Lin Fei believed what the primogenitor had said. He did know a lot of things, but that was all. Lin Fei returned to the sacred mountain. The sacred mountain was reduced to ruins, and the huge bone dragon appeared once again. One by one, the experts of the sacred mountain knelt on the ground. At this moment, the sacred leader had just come out of the tomb. Before he could even catch his breath, he saw the bone dragon appear on the sacred mountain. He also saw that terrifying figure. The sword was shrouded down and swept the sacred leader up. Spare me, spare me. I was just following orders. I didn't really want to harm you. The sacred leader, who was shrouded by the sword will, hurriedly surrendered. If he didn't surrender, the sword will would turn him into a hornet's nest. He couldn't be more dead. If he were to be casually tossed down, he would become a meat patty. Until now, the sacred leader still didn't understand why the powerful primogenitor had disappeared. Instead, the bone dragon appeared here. It seemed like it had been subdued by this outsider, Lin Fei. The sacred leader more or less knew some secret. But now, it seemed like the primogenitor was a little unreliable. However, it was better to stay alive first. You're quite smart to be able to shirk all responsibility so quickly. However, since you're so smart, I'll spare your life. At the same time, help me manage this sacred mountain, as well as this divine dragon mystery land. Originally, Lin Fei wasn't very interested in the divine dragon secret land. However, this place was a little different. The heaven and earth spiritual energy was unbelievably dense. It was pretty good to cultivate here. This was no different from a paradise. Therefore, an idea popped into Lin Fei's mind. I'll occupy this place first. Fishing and drinking tea here isn't a bad thing. As for managing this place, I'll leave it to the sacred leader. As for the primogenitor dragon 1,000 feet, he was no longer in the divine dragon secret land. That fellow had used a secret technique to detonate his physical body. It could be said that his vitality was greatly damaged. Even if he could revive, he wouldn't be able to reappear so easily. Lin Fei suspected that this fellow might have gone to the Kunlun secret land. Now that he had his eyes on the divine dragon secret land, Lin Fei wouldn't let anyone else get it. Hearing this, the sacred leader heaved a sigh of relief. But in the blink of an eye, Lin Fei condensed 10 sword intent seeds and sent them into the sacred leader's body. The sword intent seeds formed the 7 stars and Big Dipper in the sacred leader's body. A mysterious relationship caused the sacred leader's heart to skip a beat. He felt as though his body had been replaced by a furnace that could explode at any moment. The sacred leader finally understood that his life was in the hands of the other party. Help me manage the sacred mountain well. I believe you should be able to do it. The sacred leader nodded his head repeatedly. I can do it. I can definitely do it. I guarantee that I'll manage this sacred ground properly. No, I should say the entire divine dragon secret land. Lin Fei was very satisfied with the sacred leader's reply. You alone aren't enough. I've decided to find 2 more helpers for you. The skeletal dragon left the sacred mountain once again. Bringing the sacred leader with him, Lin Fei controlled the skeletal dragon and went to the Demon King's region. Actually, before reaching the Demon King's region, Lin Fei had already discovered the Vajra Monarch and Emoing, the 2 Demon Kings. The Vajra Monarch and Emoing had suffered a lot and were covered in injuries. Fortunately, they were able to return. When the powerful bloodline pressure from the skeletal dragon assaulted them again, the Vajra Monarch and Emoing smiled bitterly. This time, they really had nowhere to run. Especially after seeing Lin Fei and the sacred leader on the skeletal dragon, the Vajra Monarch and Emoing understood one thing. That primogenitor had lost. We admit defeat. We admit defeat. The 2 demon kings were very decisive. How could they fight? There was no way to fight at all. One skeletal dragon had completely crushed their combat power. In front of the skeletal dragon, they only had 10 to 20% of their combat power left. Since you know this, then come with me. The sword intent turned into a cage, trapping the 2 of them and bringing them to the sacred ground. Chapter 43-25. Lin Fei wasn't surprised at all that the Diamond King and Spectre had submitted. After placing a restriction on them, he brought them back to the sacred mountain. When they returned to the sacred mountain, he also let the 2 demon kings unify the demonic beast's forces. Long Qianzu's subordinates were also unified. King Kong and Demon Shadow loved to do such things. Although Lin Fei had used violent means to subdue the 2 of them, he had also given them some benefit. It was the Demon King's cultivation technique. Lin Fei didn't have many other things, but he had a lot of cultivation technique. Whether it was the demonic beast's cultivation techniques, ghost cultivators' cultivation techniques, or even the human race's cultivation techniques, he had them all. Any one of them would cause a bloodbath. King Kong and Demon Shadow were indeed a little unwilling, but after seeing the demonic beast's cultivation techniques, they didn't have any objections. They would never obtain such a cultivation technique in their lifetime. They didn't expect to obtain such a cultivation technique by submitting to someone else. With this cultivation technique, their strength could continue to break through. The Divine Dragon's secret domain was a good place to cultivate. They really had to thank the primogenitor for his help. Otherwise, their cultivation would have ended. They were so interested in the primogenitor's tomb because they wanted to obtain something that would help them improve their strength. They had unintentionally planted a willow, but it turned out to be a good thing. They were sincerely convinced. They also realized that this extraterrestrial visitor, Lin Fei, was definitely not someone from the secular world. He might even be an old monster or antique. Since King Kong and Demon Shadow obtained the cultivation technique, the Sacred Lord naturally obtained it as well. The Sacred Lord continued to be the Sacred Lord, but with King Kong and Demon Shadow, his authority as the Sacred Lord was greatly reduced. Of course, he didn't dare to have any opinions. The huge bone dragon was also kept by Lin Fei, turning into a small bone dragon. The sacred ground announced its unification. This matter was naturally handled by the Sacred Lord. King Kong and Demon Shadow also appeared. The people of the Sacred Mountain were originally anxious about this disaster. They didn't expect to be pleasantly surprised. Amidst their shock, they heaved a sigh of relief. From now on, they would no longer have to fight with the demonic beast. Over the years, it was unknown how many experts of their holy lands had died. The corpses could be piled up like a mountain. They could finally cultivate in peace. The Divine Dragon Arcane Realm would no longer be a dangerous place. At the same time, in an inconspicuous forest in the depths of the Kunlun Mystery Land, crack, a pile of rocks exploded. A few demonic beasts seemed to have smelled something and followed the path to the place where they came from. A figure rushed out. Balls of bloody light flew out from the bodies of these demonic beasts and directly entered the body of this person. This was an extremely ugly middle-aged man. He opened his cold eyes. Lin Fei, this old man will remember you. You caused me to lose Long Qianzu's excellent physical body. This person was none other than the primogenitor. However, the current primogenitor was indeed very weak. This old man's strength has been greatly affected. It can be said that it has damaged my foundation. Fortunately, this old man was prepared back then and left behind this body. Although it is broken, it can still be used. However, I have to recover my strength first. If those old things find out, I will definitely be in trouble. The primogenitor was filled with hatred. All his preparations were ruined in the hands of that Lin Fei. If there were no accidents, the entire Divine Dragon Arcane Realm might be controlled by that brat. This was a holy land for cultivation. Even the primogenitor was tempted to make a move. No, the Divine Dragon Arcane Realm must not be given to that brat. No matter what, I have to find some trouble for him. If this old man can't get it, that brat can forget about getting it. Lin Fei controlling the Sacred Lord was equivalent to controlling the entire Sacred Mountain. 4 Kings, I am not a bad person, right? It didn't take me long to invite you guys over. The 4 Kings were all invited over by Lin Fei. Once King Kong and Demonic Shadow made a move, Death King had no choice but to come. The changes in the Divine Dragon Arcane Realm were rather huge. Heaven End Demon King and the others looked at each other. Before they could react, the Arcane Realm seemed to have changed owners. The seemingly ordinary Lin Fei had actually become the master of the Divine Dragon Arcane Realm. Even the Sacred Lord of Sacred Mountain, including King Kong, had submitted to him. The huge difference made Heaven End Demon King and Heaven Eye King suck in a breath of cold air. What replaced it was fear and uneasiness. I didn't plan to do anything to you guys. I just wanted to understand the Kunlun arcane realm. Just tell me everything you know about the Kunlun arcane realm. Heaven End Demon King and Heaven Eye King were already prepared. However, when they heard this voice, they heaved a sigh of relief. As long as Lin Fei didn't want to kill them, it was fine. No matter what Lin Fei wanted them to do, they had no objections. After heaving a sigh of relief, they also told him everything about the Kunlun arcane realm. Even if it was the secrets of the higher-ups, they didn't hide anything. Although they had such thoughts, they still had to see where they were and who they were facing. They spoke for a full 2 hours. Lin Fei also had a deeper understanding of the Kunlun arcane realm. He even knew many rumors about it. Poison King and you can leave first. Heaven End Demon King and Heaven Eye King's heart sank. They realized that they were in trouble. Why didn't he mention their names? With a plop, the two of them knelt down. Spare us! Heaven Eye Monarch and Heaven End Demon King wished they could slap themselves. The ordinary Lin Fei already had the ability to control their life and death. The Ancestor Dragon and the Thousand-Legged Bull, for example, were still defeated. What qualifications did they have to fight with Lin Fei? It was better for them to shrink their necks. Don't worry, I won't kill the innocent. After all, the two of you are the 4 kings below the Supremes. Your strength is not bad, so my request is very simple. Protect 2 people for me in the secular world for 10 years. I believe you should be able to do it. It would be a pity if he didn't use such good fighters. If he didn't kill them on the spot, they could burn incense and pray to Buddha. No problem, no problem. We are willing to protect people. 10 years wasn't long, but compared to losing their lives, protecting people was nothing. Moreover, there weren't many experts in the secular world. Lin Fei placed a seal on the 2 of them and told them that the seal had a time limit of 10 years. Once the time was up, it would naturally be undone. They didn't dare to say anything. Did they want to die? Chapter 43:26. The strength of the 4 kings was decent in Lin Fei's eyes. Of course, it was even better in the secular world. If the Heaven Eye Monarch and the Heaven End Demon King were to protect someone, it would naturally be to protect his parents. After sending the 2 kings away, Lin Fei didn't stay idle. As for Yi Xian and Yi Zixuan, they started to cultivate in seclusion on the sacred mountain. Master, this is the core of the sacred land. Previously, only Master, no ancestor could enter. I don't know what is inside. The sacred lord carefully brought Lin Fei to the depths of the ground, in front of an inconspicuous door. If not for the sacred leader leading the way, he wouldn't have been able to find such a door. The door looked extremely ordinary. However, Lin Fei could see layers upon layers of restrictions on it. Of course, these restrictions were very crude. However, it was a headache for Xiantian and even energy-cultivating experts. It wasn't easy to break it. Lin Fei sent the sacred leader away. After checking it out, the sword intent slammed into the door like water and instantly triggered the restrictions. With such a violent method, the restrictions were smashed into pieces by the sword intent. However, the door was undamaged. Ancestors set up a method on it. I want to see what is inside. The door was not ordinary. At least, Lin Fei couldn't feel anything inside. After the restrictions were broken, Lin Fei opened the door. As soon as the door opened, a dragon's roar assaulted Lin Fei's face. It was as if a huge dragon had rushed out, directly crushing Lin Fei's body. This was the attack of a divine dragon. It was very powerful. Lin Fei had long since been prepared for this. His sword will stood in front of him, blocking off all the attacks in an instant. Furthermore, this attack lasted for a very long period of time. It was truly capable of catching one off guard. Lin Fei walked into the secret room. He was surprised when he walked in because there were bones everywhere. These skeletons were everywhere. His gaze fell on the place in front. There was a furnace there. It was a 3-legged furnace. It was huge and gave off an ancient aura. Inside the cauldron, Lin Fei could smell the scent of raging flames. If one were to approach, they would be completely evaporated by the aura of the raging flames. The primogenitor is still hiding something. There's actually a drop of divine dragon blood sealed inside this cauldron. There was indeed a drop of divine dragon blood inside. However, in Lin Fei's eyes, this drop of divine dragon blood was nothing much. He couldn't even be considered a true god. As for being able to transform one's physical body after consuming it, that was naturally impossible. This drop of divine dragon blood was filled with an endless fiery aura. Anyone who consumed it would be vaporized immediately. It seems like the ancestor was unable to completely refine this drop of divine dragon blood, so he could only leave it in this cauldron. This drop of divine dragon blood wasn't that rare. However, for the current Lin Fei, the divine dragon blood was a pretty good item. At the very least, it would be useful for his tree of life. The storm of sword intent shrouded the cauldron and launched a fierce attack. It was unknown what material was used to refine the furnace, but it was very sturdy. However, no matter how sturdy the material was, it would still be able to hold out for a long time under such an airtight attack. In just an hour it was broken. The moment the cauldron was broken, a dragon roar surged into the sky. A dragon's might swept out in all directions. It contained a frightening destructive power, especially when it was directed at one's physical body. Lin Fei opened his mouth and swallowed the drop of divine dragon blood. After he swallowed the drop of divine dragon blood, the tree of life within his body grew a series of tendrils that dragged the drop of divine dragon blood over. Even though this drop of divine dragon blood was extremely strong, even though it was within Lin Fei's body, it couldn't disintegrate Lin Fei's physical body. Instead, its strength was being devoured by the tree of life bit by bit. For the time being, the tree of life won't lack nourishment. For Lin Fei, this drop of divine dragon blood was nothing but nourishment. Where else could he find such nourishment? After the divine dragon blood was taken away, the suppressive force in the secret chamber disappeared completely. After searching for a while, Lin Fei managed to find some useful items. For example, some ancient books that were left behind. The books were all written in ancient text. Of course, this didn't stop Lin Fei. After studying it for a while, he read it out and understood its meaning. This is really interesting. Lin Fei didn't stay for too long. He turned around and left. No one knew what was recorded in the books, because Lin Fei had taken them all away. Lin Fei's figure soon arrived outside the sacred mountain. The divine dragon's secret realm wasn't big, but it wasn't small either. After searching for a while, Lin Fei finally arrived at an inconspicuous valley. This valley was really inconspicuous in the dense forest. There were many monsters living in the valley. The moment Lin Fei arrived, he released his aura slightly, scaring away all the monsters. There were caves within the valley. These caves were all inhabited by monsters. With a wave of his hand, his sword intent swept away all the unpleasant smell in the cave like flowing water. He arrived at the innermost part of the cave. The sword intent swept through the thick layer of rocks. It was a very violent way of breaking through. A stone door appeared in front of Lin Fei just like that. The information in the books was right. There really is a place in the Divine Dragon's secret realm that leads to the Kunlun secret realm. If I'm not wrong, it should be here. This door led to the Kunlun secret realm. It was well protected. Although Lin Fei had broken it with brute force, if it were an inborn expert or a chi refinement expert, they wouldn't be able to break it. They wouldn't even be able to tell what was wrong with it. The disguise was too good. No matter how strong one's mental strength was, one wouldn't be able to tell that there was something wrong with this rock wall. There was a restriction set up on the door. There was a huge talisman pasted on the restriction. The talisman gave off a dangerous aura. It seems like someone doesn't want the Kunlun secret realm to be connected with the Divine Dragon's secret realm. It would be the same even if it was me. Lin Fei had been to the Kunlun secret realm. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth there was indeed average. It couldn't be compared to the cultivation speed in the divine dragon secret realm. This place was better than the 36 blessed and heavenly land. Luckily, I came here earlier. Knowing the primogenitor's temper, he might expose the entrance to the divine dragon's arcane plane after suffering such a great loss. I'll have to set up a formation here first. The sacred ground was rich in resources. Therefore, Lin Fei didn't lack materials to set up a formation. Lin Fei knew of countless formations, such as the ancient ominous formation. Any one of them could turn this place into hell. Anyone who entered would be doomed. I hope the ancestor can help me do something good. I can use this formation to take them down a notch. I'll let them know that the Kunlun secret realm and the divine dragon secret realm are separated by heaven and earth. It's not a place they can enter just because they want to. Bookseller's website. Chapter 43-27. Lin Fei spent a few days and finally set up a super formation. This formation was called Azura Hell. There were a total of 10 levels, and each level had different powers. No matter who it was, as long as they broke into this Azura Hell, they would either die or lose a layer of skin. After the Azura Hell was set up, Lin Fei was completely relieved. He really did not believe that the ancestors or the supremes could break this formation. They would take care of everything that came in. The divine dragon's secret realm was under his control. Lin Fei would not hand it over to anyone easily. There were not many things that could interest Lin Fei, and the divine dragon's secret realm was one of them. After setting up the formation, Lin Fei left. This place was located in an inconspicuous valley in the forest. Lin Fei was not worried that someone would find this place. Back at the sacred land, Lin Fei left after giving some instructions. Yi Xian and Yi Zixuan were still in seclusion. Lin Fei told the Sacred Lord that if Yi Xian and Yi Zixuan wanted to leave this place, he should send them out personally. Before leaving the Divine Dragon's secret realm, Lin Fei had one more thing to do. He had to destroy all the previous entrances and set up a formation. After all, that entrance was set up by the ancestors for them to enter the Divine Dragon's secret realm. After reading those books, Lin Fei knew that there were other exits to the Divine Dragon's secret realm. It was just that they were very secretive. Even the Sacred Lord did not know about them. At the edge of a cliff in a dense forest, looking at the void in front of him, Lin Fei's lips curled up as he stepped forward. Who would have thought that this seemingly sky was actually an illusory formation? However, this illusory formation was very clever. Ordinary people would not be able to tell. Even the Sacred Lord would not be able to tell. This was the exit to leave the Divine Dragon's secret realm. From the moment Lin Fei entered to the moment he left, he had indeed stayed for a long time. He really did miss the outside world. Speaking of which, the Divine Dragon's secret realm was very boring. Lin Fei was probably the only one who could say something like that. I wonder what will happen after we get out of here. I am really looking forward to it. After the world turned upside down, Lin Fei fell into the water. When Lin Fei got out of the water, he found himself near a beach. It was not a deserted beach, but a beach by the sea. Lin Fei glanced around and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He seemed to have arrived at the subtropical Vietnamese province. This place must be a provincial one. Lin Fei could guarantee that, because the weather here was simply too pleasant. The air pool was filled with a damp odor. It was impossible for them to exist in Shanghai. Where else could it be other than Yu Province? Lin Fei found it hard to believe. This was a huge leap. A moment ago, he was still in the northern desert. In the blink of an eye, he had arrived at the end of the south. The person who set up this exit was truly a weirdo. He actually didn't know about this place. Lin Fei really didn't expect this. Fortunately, Lin Fei didn't stand out when he appeared. After all, there were too many people swimming here. Who knew when someone else would appear? Lin Fei didn't bring any swimsuit. He walked up drenched. After asking around, he confirmed that this was South Asia in Vietnamese province. As a scenic tourist attraction, South Asia was naturally crowded, especially during this season. Lin Fei decided to find a place to stay first. The place he wanted to stay was naturally a 5-star hotel. Lin Fei. Not long after walking on the beach, Lin Fei heard a familiar voice. He turned around and saw a familiar person. Charlene, why are you here? The person he met on the beach was the first girl he met on his way back, Charlene. Charlene went to Bai Xingnan's company to be an assistant. Lin Fei was quite surprised that Charlene would be here in South Asia at this time. Boss, you really know how to have fun. You actually came to South Asia without a word. If I didn't feel that your back looked familiar just now, I really wouldn't have recognized you. Charlene ran up with a smile. Even at the seaside, Charlene's dress was still relatively conservative. Her one piece was still youthful and cute. Lin Fei knew that Charlene must have thought too much. Aren't we going to give our beauty Charlene a surprise? Lin Fei also laughed and teased. Charlene was amused and giggled. Big boss, don't tease me. You are such an honest person. Even though Xiao Lin knew that Lin Fei was talking nonsense, Xiao Lin was still very happy. I have swimming trunks over there. Do you want to change into them? After arriving at South Asia in Vietnamese province, Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry to go back. Sure, no problem. Although Lin Fei could easily evaporate the water on his body, there were too many people here, so he decided not to do so. Charlene was in a good mood after meeting the big boss here. Lin Fei was in a good mood. After chatting for a while, Lin Fei also found out that Charlene was out on vacation. Ever since the cloud shapewear became popular, Charlene, the assistant, had not been idle. It wasn't easy for her to find a vacation time. She didn't expect to meet the big boss, Lin Fei, here. Charlene recalled the bits and pieces of Lin Fei living in her room. I bought these swimming trunks by mistake and kept them. I was going to throw them away, but now it's a bargain for you, big boss. In the drawer not far away, Charlene rummaged through a pair of swimming trunks. Lin Fei didn't stand on ceremony. He took it and put it on. It wasn't the first time that Charlene had seen Lin Fei's good figure. Compared to other people with big bellies, Lin Fei's figure was top-notch with an 8-pack and a vest line. Anyone who saw it would be envious. It was the same for Charlene. After Lin Fei joined, Charlene had even more fun. This time, Charlene didn't just come alone. She came with a best friend. However, when that best friend saw Lin Fei, her face was a little unhappy, but it returned to normal immediately. You're really good to your friend. You even let him wear this swimming trunks. Also, you look at him with drooling eyes. Don't tell me you have a crush on this kid? Charlene's best friend was called Zhang Weiwei. Zhang Weiwei's figure was also very good. She was also a great beauty. Her looks were around 85 points. Nonsense, Lin Fei and I are good friends, okay? Charlene said seriously. Zhang Weiwei didn't believe Charlene's words. Those eyes and actions couldn't deceive her. Charlene didn't tell Zhang Weiwei that Lin Fei was the big boss of her company and the creator of the cloud shapewear. Look at yourself. You're smiling. Zhang Weiwei rarely saw Charlene smile like this. Her eyes never left Lin Fei. Chapter 43-28 Kunlun Mysteryland. The 6 Supremes all received a piece of news. It was about the Divine Dragon Mysteryland. This was because everyone who entered had basically gained nothing. What was even more terrifying was that it was a trap set by one of the ancestors. As the news spread, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. While everyone was still in shock, the 6 Supremes unexpectedly received a piece of news that piqued their interest. Someone had exposed the entrance to the Divine Dragon Mysteryland. According to the news brought back by the 4 kings, one thing was certain. The cultivation in the Divine Dragon Mysteryland was indeed better than the Kunlun Mysteryland. The heaven and earth spiritual chi became denser, which naturally allowed everyone to break through faster. If I'm not mistaken, it should be here. A short figure arrived at a valley. At the end of the valley was a small lake that was very inconspicuous. This short figure was one of the 6 supreme beings. Supreme's Tianyun. Despite his short appearance, Supreme's Tianyun was actually a midget. However, it was this person who managed to cultivate to the foundation establishment realm in the Kunlun Mystery Land and became in Supreme's. His strength was rather terrifying. Supreme's Tianyun, you're pretty fast. It seems like you're very interested in the Divine Dragon Mystery Land. Just as Supreme's Tianyun stood by the lake, another figure rushed in. It was a pink figure. It was a female Supreme's. This was the only female Supreme martial artist among the 6 Supremes. Supreme's Phoenixes. Supreme's Tianyun smiled when he saw Supreme's Phoenixes. Supreme's Phoenixes, you really know how to joke. I'm just interested in the Divine Dragon Mystery Land. I didn't expect the rumor to actually exist. It seems like the news back then was true. The 6 Supremes all knew one thing. The Divine Dragon Mystery Land was originally a sacred place for cultivation, and it had always been above the Kunlun Mystery Land. The Kunlun Mystery Land was originally a place under the jurisdiction of the sacred place. However, due to some unknown reason, the sacred place disappeared. No one knew where it went. It was not that the Supremes did not search for it, but they could not find the entrance. As time passed, everyone gave up. I'm just here to see if it's true. Supreme's Phoenixes chuckled. Not long after, the other 4 Supremes arrived. Everyone was very concerned about this news, because this information was only known to the 6 Supremes. Outsiders didn't even know about this news. While they were shocked, they were also secretly guessing. Who was it that passed the news to them? Because the news came from their territory. After all 6 of them had arrived. Everyone's goal was the same, and that was to break the entrance. The Kunlun Mystic Realm was indeed a good place to cultivate, but it was nothing compared to the Divine Dragon Mystic Realm. If he could enter the Divine Dragon secret grounds, not only would he be able to obtain cultivation resources, it was said that there were as many demonic beasts as there were clouds in there, and all of them were good stuff. At the very least, in the Kunlun Mystic Realm, demonic beasts were few and far between. Those who encountered one would basically be captured alive and brought back to the sect to rear. Everyone understood the principle that eating beast meat all year round would greatly improve one's physical body. Although they didn't have high requirements for their bodies, who wouldn't want their bodies to be as strong as possible? No matter what, let's give it a try first. What if we really succeed? Heavenly Cloud Supreme was the first to speak. In fact, everyone's thoughts were the same. Then let's do it together. Not only did they know that the Divine Dragon's secret grounds was under this lake, but they also knew the way to break the formation. After a loud rumble, the 6 supreme beings made their move. The small lake was instantly destroyed. A door appeared at the bottom of it. The protective formation almost collapsed. Initially, everyone had their doubts. However, when they saw the door, they heaved a sigh of relief. The news was true. There was indeed a storage area here. The possibility of it leading to the Divine Dragon's secret grounds was higher. When they saw the door, they heaved a sigh of relief. They didn't know what the person who spread the news was about, but they had to confirm it no matter what. It seemed like their trip wasn't in vain. The 6 honorable beings struck out once more and broke through the formation on the door. With that, the entrance below appeared. The news is true. There's an entrance. It seems like the Shunnong mystic realm has indeed been isolated by someone. This concealment formation is too advanced. Sovereign Phoenix Cauldron chuckled and was the first to descend. After that, Heavenly Cloud Supreme also came down. They easily entered the door. After the 6 supreme beings checked and didn't find any danger, they relaxed again. I'll go take a look and confirm whether it's true or not. It was impossible for one supreme being to go, so the best way was for all 6 supreme beings to go together. If there were benefits from the other side, they really had to consider it. Without further ado, the 6 supreme beings decided to go to the Divine Dragon's secret grounds together. Without blinking, they rushed in together. When the lake was blasted open, a tattered figure appeared. The figure was still shriveled and emitted a decaying aura. Let the 6 supreme beings test it out first. Those old antiques aren't that easy to fool. We have to let that Lin Fei suffer a bit first. If one supreme being isn't enough, then let's do it with all 6 supreme beings. The strength of the 6 supreme beings was quite good in the eyes of Ancestor Qian. Mo was the name of this ancestor. After all, they had existed in this realm for a long time, unlike Ancestor Qian. Once he took over, his strength didn't reach his peak. In the end, he met Lin Fei and suffered a huge loss. It's a pity that my strength hasn't recovered yet. Otherwise, it would be great to take over a supreme being's body. It's a pity that my 7-colored glazed pagoda is wasted. It wasn't easy for him to seize a body, but he missed it just like that. It was all because of that damned Lin Fei. When his strength recovered, he would definitely let Lin Fei have it easy. What concerned Ancestor Qian Mo the most was that bone dragon. Such a powerful bone dragon was actually controlled by that kid. This was the most inconceivable thing. After the 6 supreme beings came over, they instantly felt like they had fallen into hell. In an instant, they were bewildered and disoriented. This is the Divine Dragon's secret grounds. No, we seem to have encountered a formation. With a whistling sound, it was as if the sky was falling. One by one, the supreme martial artists spat out blood. They were injured by the formation in less than a second. Let's go. This is a formation. Someone set up a formation. It might be used to deal with us. Chapter 43:29. After being attacked by the formation, they immediately retreated. Even so, they still suffered greatly. This was because the formation was simply too savage. One layer after another, it became stronger and stronger. They did not have the ability to resist at all. Fortunately, there were 6 supremes who entered together, so they had some ability to resist, so they were not injured that badly. If any of them were to come in, they would probably lose their lives here. We've been tricked, we've definitely been tricked. Someone is trying to kill us all, Supreme Skycloud roared. Supreme's phoenix color was also frightened, but then said, I think the person who plotted against us is in this valley. If we rush out now, we might be able to catch him off guard. Supreme's phoenix color's words made the eyes of the remaining 5 supremes brighten. They realized that there might really be someone waiting for the result outside. If they rushed out now, it was very likely that they would catch the other party off guard. Although they were all injured, their injuries were not too serious. After a short moment of hesitation, they understood. They had to vent their anger. Ancestral founder Thousand Motes was indeed waiting outside to watch a good show. If they could capture a Supremes, it would be a good thing. Although his current physical body looked decent, it could not unleash its full strength. Therefore, he had to find a Supremes to act against. Even if he could not take over the other party's body, he had to control them into a puppet. That way, he would have a thug. Originally, he had a disciple like the Holy Master, plus the Divine Dragon's secret realm controlled by the Holy Master, which was equivalent to holding a trump card. He did not expect to lose this trump card so quickly. This was the worst thing that had happened to him. Fortunately, he had successfully lured the 6 Supremes here. No matter what, he had to give that Lin Fei quite a bit of trouble. If Lin Fei killed the 6 Supremes, that would be for the best. The primogenitors behind the Supremes would definitely make their move. What's that sound? Ancestral founder Thousand Motes' expression suddenly changed, and he retreated. In the next second, 6 figures directly rushed out. What's going on? Why did they come out so quickly? No, they are injured. Ancestral founder Thousand Motes immediately understood what was going on. The only thing that Ancestral founder Thousand Motes did not understand was how long the 6 Supremes had been in there. Why did they all come out injured? This was not right. They had clearly just come out. Was there an ambush? Or was Lin Fei, that brat, lying in wait? However, I am the only one who knows about this connection point. Even if Lin Fei obtained the Holy Land, he would not know about this place. During this moment of hesitation, the 6 Supremes discovered ancestral founder Thousand Mote. Everything was as Phoenix Color had predicted. There was indeed someone waiting outside. To be. Shameless bastard, you actually dared to ambush us. Eat our combined attack first. Supreme Skycloud waved his hand and unleashed a wave of heavenly fire, which instantly enveloped Primogenitor Thousand Moths. Sovereign Phoenix Cauldron also unleashed her own attack. Golden threads instantly wrapped around Ancestor Thousand Darkness. In the blink of an eye, Ancestor Thousand Darkness was no different from a silkworm cocoon. A bell-shaped treasure came crashing down. This was the work of another supreme being. The attacks of the 6 Supremes were indeed fierce. To be honest, Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes was caught off guard. According to Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes calculations, the 6 Supremes would cause a ruckus there. This would take at least 10 days to half a month. And this was under the condition that things did not go smoothly. If things went smoothly, it would take at least a month. Now, they had gone in and out, and all of them were injured. What Supreme's Thousand Motes could not accept was that he had never schemed against them. No, it was an ambush. If nothing went wrong, this was definitely done by Lin Fei. It must be a formation. That brat set up a great formation, that's why those 6 Supremes were injured in a single exchange. What a sinister and vicious fellow. While Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes cursed, he had to defend against the attacks of the 6 Supremes. If he was at his peak, it might not have mattered. But now it was a real headache. Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes defended while retreating. He could not withstand the attacks of the 6 Supremes. All of them attacked in a domineering manner, all of them filled with rage. Naturally, the might of their attacks had increased. Speak, who are you? You actually dared to lay a formation here to ambush us. Could you be one of those old antiques? The moment the 6 Supremes attacked, they immediately realized something was different. Because Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes was very strong. He could actually defend against the attacks of the 6 Supremes. This kind of thing was really rare. My name is not something you can know. Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes did not dare to use his famous move. He could only defend passively. But in his heart, he still looked down on these guys. In the next second, a cold light pierced through his chest. Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes was actually injured. Unknowingly, one of the Supremes had actually used a secret treasure. Taking advantage of Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes' indifferent attitude, he directly gave Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes a big slap. Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes' strength had not recovered. Now that he was injured, it was like a gap had been opened. Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes cursed once more. He turned and ran. This time, he had no choice but to run. Someone touched my formation. In Yu Province, Lin Fei was eating with Xiaolin. He frowned slightly before returning to normal. Just now, his formation was touched by someone. Lin Fei purposely left it behind. They moved really quickly. I wonder if this slap will be like pouring a bucket of cold water on them. I think it should be very satisfying. Brother Lin, what good thing did you think of? Xiaolin was very happy these few days. The only thing that made Xiaolin a little unhappy was that she actually came out with her best friend Zhang Weiwei. Unknowingly, there was another light bulb. Actually, it's nothing much. It's just a bunch of bandits barged into a master's house. In the end, they were beaten up by the host. Don't you think this is a happy thing? Lin Fei did not know that Ancestral Founder Thousand Motes wanted to take advantage of the situation. In the end, he was chased by 6 Supremes. If Lin Fei knew, he would probably be even happier. At this moment, Lin Fei was in a good mood. After all, he had his eyes on the God Dragon's secret domain. He definitely would not allow anyone to touch it. Xiaolin, so you are here. That's for the best. Come with me. Just as he finished speaking, a few people rushed in. Why are you here again? Xia Lin said angrily. Didn't I say that you are wrong? I don't have anything on me. Chapter 43:30. As soon as these people came over, Charlene's face darkened. They were martial artists. After a glance, Lin Fei could tell that these people were all martial artists at the level of clear strength. Since when were there martial artists in South Asia? These martial artists seem to have ill intentions. It's not up to you to decide. That thing is in your hands anyway. Unless you let us search it ourselves, you have to come with us. The leader was at the late stage of clear strength. His face was very cold with a hint of arrogance. Lin Fei, who was at the side, was ignored by the other party. He was just an ordinary person. Who would care about him? Didn't you hear what my friend said? I advise you to leave quickly. Don't disturb our meal. Lin Fei said to them indifferently. The leader of the martial artists looked over with a cold look, but then he took a few steps back with a bang, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His eyes fell on Lin Fei. Let's go. Charlene was a little confused. Fortunately, they finally left, which was a happy thing. Boss, I don't know who they are. They said that I took something from them, but I really don't know what is not mine. As soon as they left, Charlene said with a face of grievance. Lin Fei frowned slightly. Don't worry. Tell me the situation briefly. It would be best if you can be more detailed. I will help you analyze and see what is going on. In fact, Lin Fei still believed what those people said in his heart. After all, these martial artists would never talk nonsense. Maybe Charlene really got something, but she just didn't know it. Lin Fei was also curious about what Charlene took that made them come in person. They didn't take action directly, probably because they were not sure and just had some doubts. Charlene was also confused. She thought about it and said, Here's the thing. After I got off the plane with Zhang Weiwei that day, Charlene said as she thought. During this time, Lin Fei also asked some questions. Boss, that's what happened. Do you think they misunderstood? Lin Fei was very sure that Charlene had been used as a scapegoat. If nothing went wrong, that thing was really with Xiaolin, it was just that she did not know. It's not really a misunderstanding. It's just that you've been used. That thing is really on you or in your room. Charlene was stunned. It can't be, I don't think anything is extra. After dinner, just take me to your room. Maybe it's not with you, but with Zhang Weiwei. It was rare that Zhang Weiwei didn't come over to be a third wheel. It seems that I really didn't pay attention to whether there was anything extra in Vivian's place. How could Xiaolin still have the mood to eat? He immediately called Zhang Weiwei. After he made the call, he couldn't get through. His phone kept telling him that he was offline. What's going on? I can't get through to Weiwei's phone. She's a cell phone maniac. She always has her cell phone with her every day. Could it be that Weiwei went swimming? That can't be right. It's so hot outside. She'll shed her skin if she goes swimming. Charlene couldn't help feeling anxious. Then let's go to her room to take a look. Charlene realized that something might have happened to Zhang Weiwei. After paying the bill, she walked to the door. Charlene's phone rang. It was Zhang Weiwei. It's Weiwei, I'm probably thinking too much. She picked up the call. Charlene's expression changed, because it wasn't Zhang Weiwei's voice but a man's. Your good bestie Zhang Weiwei is in my hands. You have half a day to bring us what we want. Otherwise, your bestie will be fed to the fishes. We have crocodiles and sharks here. It would be a pity to feed such a delicate girl to the fishes. A cold voice came from the other side. Zhang Weiwei was completely panicking. Don't hurt Weiwei, we'll go find it immediately. We'll definitely find it for you. Please don't hurt Weiwei. That's for the best. Oh right, ask your friend to come over too. Remember not to call the police. If you do, your best friend will be finished. Keep the phone on, I'll call you. He hung up the phone. Charlene hurriedly called again, only to find that Zhang Weiwei's phone was turned off again. Lin Fei, who was beside Charlene, heard everything clearly. He patted Charlene's shoulder lightly. It's okay, your best friend will be very safe. But I really don't know what is in our hands. Charlene was at a loss. The thing should be in your room, let's go over now. Charlene suppressed her panic and stopped a car. The two of them returned to the hotel. Not good, our door seems to have been opened. When they reached their room, Charlene exclaimed because the tightly locked door actually had a small crack. It was obvious that someone had opened it. Lin Fei stretched out his hand to stop her. Stand behind me, I'll go in and take a look. Don't panic. Lin Fei already knew that there was someone inside. And it was a martial artist. Because of this, Lin Fei told Charlene to stand outside and wait. Charlene's room was an apartment with a room inside and outside. At this moment, a figure was looking for something with a hint of anxiousness on his face. Where did the thing go? I clearly stuffed it in their bags, did they throw it away? No, they shouldn't have noticed. It was a young man who looked like he was in his early 20s. After searching for a while, he still couldn't find anything. Friend, isn't it a bit too much to barge into someone's apartment like this? Suddenly, a voice appeared in the room. The young man turned around and broke out in cold sweat. Without saying anything, he kicked towards the window, using both his hands and feet. In a few steps, he reached the window. Outside of the window was a forest. There was a big tree at the side. Although it was only 3 to 4 meters away, the young man felt that he could jump over it. Just as he reached the window, a figure stood in front of him like a ghost. With a gentle wave of his hand, the young man flew out and fell on the sofa. After he got up, he grabbed him by the neck with one hand and lifted him up. In a panic, the young man took out a dagger and stabbed towards the person. With a crack, the dagger broke and fell to the ground. If I were you, I'd be honest and tell the truth. Who knows, maybe I'd be able to see the sun tomorrow. Chapter 43-31. Wang Qingyun never thought that his luck would be so bad. It wasn't easy to steal something good from a place, but he was hunted down before he could even warm it up. He ran to 3 provinces in a row, but he was still being watched by them. He had no choice but to put the thing on someone else and escape with great difficulty. It took him a while to find the 2 of them, but he couldn't find the thing. Wang Qingyun was about to cry. If that was the case, then there was nothing to say. But he met a powerful expert and was caught in an instant. There was even a moment when he felt that he was going to die. Inside the apartment suite, Wang Qingyun stood there honestly. His face was a little pale, and he didn't even dare to move. I remember you. You were the one who touched me, but you said it was nothing. I didn't expect you to be so bad. You actually dared to frame us. Tell me, what did you put in our bags? It was naturally easy to deal with a guy who had just touched the bright side card. It didn't take long for the other party to stand there obediently. Lin Fei's pinch just now made him walk on the edge of life and death. No one was willing to experience that kind of feeling a second time. At most, other people would let you walk around, but with Lin Fei it was equivalent to taking half a step in. Wang Qingyun seemed to have seen that path, but he was forcibly pulled back. This was the most uncomfortable thing. No, it was the most terrifying thing. If he didn't grasp the timing correctly, he might really walk into the gates of hell. When Wang Qingyun looked at the other party, his whole face was filled with panic. Xiaolin also recognized Wang Qingyun immediately. After all, she had contact with this person on the plane, but she didn't care at that time. Wang Qingyun's appearance was too deceiving. People who didn't know would think that he was a person who had just entered university. Naturally, they wouldn't think too much about it. Charlene was the same, but now she realized that this guy might be the one who framed them. As a result, Zhang Weiwei was taken away by someone. Wang Qingyun didn't dare to move now. I only put a piece of jade in your bag, but I can't find that piece of jade. Wang Qingyun said with a sad face, actually, I didn't mean to make you take the blame. I only did it because I had no other choice. I caused your best friend to be taken away. I'm really sorry. Xiaolin seemed to have thought of something. She went to the bottom of the sofa and pulled out a piece of jade. Actually, it wasn't really jade, because this piece of jade was the size of a fist and had strange runes carved on it. Yes, that's the thing. They should be looking for this thing. I also stole it from them. I really don't know what it is. Anyway, they are very concerned about this thing. They chased me through 3 provinces. Wang Qingyun nodded his head and explained. However, he no longer dared to look at the jade stone. I thought this thing was left here by the previous resident. It looked strange, so we kicked it under the sofa. I didn't expect that it was this thing that caused Zhang Weiwei to be taken away. Xia Lin finally remembered. She didn't expect that after all the trouble, it was actually this thing. Wang Qingyun was also very helpless. This thing was actually under the sofa. Who would notice that this thing was here? One must know that this was a hotel apartment. He didn't think about this at all. If it was at home, it might be possible, but here, he wouldn't even think about it. If it was under the sofa, then Wang Qingyun wouldn't have to work so hard. In the end, he met the other party, who was also an expert, and took him down without making a move. This isn't an ordinary jade stone. No wonder those people wanted to chase you. Lin Fei took the jade stone from Xia Lin's hand and laughed softly. Then if this isn't a jade stone, what is it? Could it be an antique? But antiques don't look like this. Lin Fei was also quite surprised. He didn't expect to encounter such a thing. It was very normal for the other party to chase Wang Qingyun, because this jade stone wasn't an ordinary jade stone, but a piece of soul jade. Soul jade was very rare because its texture was very special. However, every piece of soul jade contained a special power. This power was left behind by an expert, and whoever inherited this power would be able to be reborn. Although that was the case, it wasn't that easy to inherit the thing inside the soul jade. Of course, this wasn't a difficult thing to Lin Fei. Kid, you're quite gutsy. Of all things to steal, you just had to steal this thing. It's not bad that you're still alive. Lin Fei snorted lightly as he played with the soul jade in his hand. This thing was indeed a priceless treasure, and it just had to appear in South Asia. It shouldn't be South Asia, because the soul jade was stolen by Wang Qingyun. I'm quite curious. Where did you steal it from? If you tell me clearly, I might let you go. Otherwise, you know what will happen. Wang Qingyun didn't dare look at this young man anymore. Although the other party looked a few years older than him, his methods were definitely not something he could compare to. I stole this from a big villa. Because I'm a thief, I like to visit villas the most. The villa is very simple, but there are many people inside. Their tone is a little different, just like people in a sect. I stole it when they weren't paying attention. Wang Qingyun realized that this piece of jade definitely had a great background. It was worth it for them to hunt him down. Lin Fei didn't know what to say about this kid. To think that he could steal the soul jade in front of those experts. Was it because they were useless? Or was this kid too strong? You don't have to hope to get this thing back. Since you're quite honest, cram as far as you can. I advise you to leave the country for the best. Otherwise, you won't have a good ending. Although he didn't know where these people had obtained this piece of soul jade, it was definitely a priceless treasure. Wang Qingyun dared to steal this piece of soul jade from them. Regardless of whether they found this piece of soul jade later, as the culprit, Wang Qingyun wouldn't have a good ending. Wang Qingyun could tell that this wasn't a joke. It was the truth. He had gotten himself into big trouble, and this trouble was so big that he couldn't continue living in the country. Lin Fei wasn't joking. What he said was the truth. Chapter 43-32. To be able to find a piece of soul jade here was indeed an incredible thing for Lin Fei. After chasing Wang Qingyun away, Lin Fei played with the soul jade in his hand and looked at Charlene with a smile. After all, he had a special feeling for Charlene. At the very least, when he returned from the alternate world, it was Charlene who brought him home and took care of him. It could be said that if it wasn't for Charlene, he might not have recovered so quickly. No matter what, Lin Fei owed Charlene a favor. As for Charlene's love for him, Lin Fei could see it clearly. After finding out that it was a soul jade, Lin Fei immediately checked it out to see what was inside. Fortunately, this soul jade should be the power left behind by a female expert. It was gentle and not overbearing. Don't think that anyone could inherit the power in the soul jade. Actually, it depended on the person. If a woman inherited a man's power, she would definitely not be able to bear it. Even if she could bear it, her personality would change drastically. Therefore, there was a certain risk in inheriting the soul jade. After checking the inside and outside of the room, Lin Fei was completely relieved. Boss, the way you look at me is a little weird. Don't tell me you have some improper thoughts about me? Charlene giggled. Previously, Charlene was a little worried. Now that she found it, she heaved a sigh of relief. As long as they called again, she would be able to get her best friend Zhang Weiwei back. Shaolin, I want to ask if you are interested in letting yourself see a whole new world. As long as you say it, I will fulfill your wish. Lin Fei was giving Charlene a chance to see what she would choose. A whole new world? Charlene found it strange, but she was also a smart girl. Ever since she brought Lin Fei back, she felt that Lin Fei had a mysterious aura that made people want to dig deeper. But until now, Charlene had not dug out the secret on Lin Fei. But now, Charlene's gaze suddenly fell on the soul jade. Was it because of this? As a girl, Charlene's feeling was very correct. At the very least, she could tell that Lin Fei's words had a deeper meaning. It didn't sound like something he would say normally. Could it be a chance to get closer to Lin Fei? Charlene realized that this might be her only chance. If she missed this chance, there might not be a next time. He didn't know when it would happen, so he had to seize this opportunity. I intend to give it a try. I hope you can fulfill my wish. Charlene thought about it and looked at Lin Fei with anticipation. Actually, Lin Fei wasn't surprised by Charlene's choice at all. Congratulations on making the right choice. I hope you won't regret it in the future. Lin Fei laughed. Follow me to the room. I'll show you what a new world is. Lin Fei walked into the room with a smile. But Charlene was taken aback by this. What new world? Could it be that he had to go to the room? Charlene's thoughts ran wild, but she still walked into the room in the end. You can sit here now. I'll help you open up a new world. But before that, I have to ask you, do you know what a warrior is? Charlene had heard of a warrior before. I know that. I heard that a warrior is a pugilistic expert. Can I become a pugilistic expert? Those who can fly in the sky and smash bricks with one palm? Wouldn't I become a heroine? Charlene giggled. She had yearned for this for a long time. Unfortunately, she didn't dare to learn taekwondo or judo as it was too painful. You can understand it that way. So this time, I'll let you become a warrior. Close your eyes now, and when you open them, you'll realize that this world will become very interesting. Lin Fei planned to use the soul jade on Charlene here. He would guide all the energy out and pour it into Charlene's body. Of course, if it was an ordinary person, it would be impossible to succeed. But with Lin Fei here, it would be easy. Charlene was very obedient. She closed her eyes and sat on the bed, but she was actually very nervous. Lin Fei took out the soul jade. He placed it on Charlene's head. With a flick of his power, the seal on the soul jade was completely undone. Swoosh! A flood-like power surged down. Lin Fei, who was at the side, was already prepared. He split the power. The originally fierce and domineering power became like flowing water as it flowed into Xiao Lin's body unhurriedly. That wasn't enough. Lin Fei had to refine the power so that it could be stored in Charlene's body. So this step was very important. Lin Fei had done this many times, so he was able to easily inject the energy into Xiao Lin's body. Originally, Charlene didn't have a trace of a warrior's aura. But in the blink of an eye, she broke through from light strength to negative strength, then from negative strength to transcendent grandmaster, and finally stepped into the innate peak realm. Actually, the power in the soul jade wasn't released completely. That was because Charlene's body was too weak. So Lin Fei sealed the remaining power. As long as Charlene continued to cultivate, the power in her body would be released continuously. It would allow her to easily break through to the Qi cultivation realm. Only Lin Fei could do such a thing. The others could only watch. After receiving so much power, Charlene fell asleep. Just like what Lin Fei said, when Charlene woke up, a whole new world would open up. After the power in the soul jade dissipated completely, the soul jade lost its luster and was no different from an abandoned jade. Of course, if such a jade was brought to a jewelry store, it could be sold for hundreds of thousands. Now, let me see just what kind of background these fellows have. To think that they could actually produce soul jade. I am quite interested in them. If there are a few more of them, the strength of the people around me will increase one by one. That will save me a lot of trouble. When he was in the Holy Mountain, Lin Fei had more or less found some clues through the ancient books and information. This Kunlun mystery realm wasn't as simple as he thought. It hid a huge secret. So after dealing with these matters, Lin Fei still had to make a trip to Kunlun mystery realm to get to the bottom of this. Because there were too few things that could interest Lin Fei now. It was rare to find something, so he had to go for a stroll and get rid of some troubles, such as Ancestor Thousand Silence. Remember the mobile website. Chapter 43:33. Xia Lin fell into a deep sleep. Not long after, her phone rang. Lin Fei took her phone and a cold voice came from the other side. Beauty Xia Lin, it's time. I don't know if you found the thing we want. Otherwise, your best friend Zhang Weiwei won't have a good ending. You have to think carefully. I've found the thing. It's in my hands. If you dare to hurt Zhang Weiwei, then don't even think about getting this thing for the rest of your life. I think this thing is pretty good. I don't know if it will attract the interest of those people if I auction it outside. Lin Fei chuckled. The person on the other side was quite surprised. He didn't expect that the person who answered the phone would be a young man. After thinking about it, the person understood. So you're the one who injured my people. You're really arrogant. Now you've brought the thing to teach people. As long as we see the thing, we'll naturally return Zhang Weiwei to you. Tell me your address, I'll send it to you now. But if you dare to do anything to Zhang Weiwei, then don't blame me for fighting to the death with you. You have to know that this thing looks very precious. If you don't know what's good for you, I'll casually throw it somewhere. I'm afraid you won't be able to find it again for the rest of your life. The cold man on the other side was silent for a moment. Don't worry, as long as we see the thing, we'll naturally return Zhang Weiwei to you. We won't hurt a single hair on her head. I can guarantee that. But if you dare to deceive us with a fake thing, then don't blame us for being impolite. He hung up the phone. Xia Lin's phone had an additional address. Lin Fei frowned slightly as a cold light flashed in his eyes. You dare to play such a little trick? I want to see what kind of strength you have. It's best if you have a big fish. Otherwise, this trip will be in vain. It was indeed inconceivable for Lin Fei to encounter a soul jade in a place like U City. Therefore, he was prepared to dig up some roots and understand the process. Maybe he could make an unexpected discovery. If it wasn't for Qian Mo ancestor's last words, Lin Fei wouldn't have paid special attention. Now, he more or less understood some things. The Kunlun mystic realm and the sacred mountain were actually one entity. It was just that there was a problem. Now, there was a big secret waiting for him in the Kunlun mystic realm. Lin Fei was very interested in unearthing secrets. These days, Lin Fei also paid attention to the news on the internet, especially the news in the north. It was said that there was indeed a sandstorm there, and it lasted for several days. However, it disappeared completely recently, and it returned to the state of a desert. As for the so-called heavenly pit, it had long since disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared. Lin Fei couldn't help but admire the Qian Mo ancestor. He actually had such a method. This was also good. The disappearance of the sinkhole naturally wouldn't attract the attention of outsiders. Some things were better left unknown to outsiders. Lin Fei came out of the hotel. He flagged down a taxi and went straight to the address. This was an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of South Asia. The driver didn't ask at all. After sending Lin Fei nearby, he drove away, leaving Lin Fei alone. It seems that you are a very tactful person. You actually came alone. I don't know where Xiao Lin is. Don't plan to play any tricks. Your every move is under our surveillance. When Lin Fei arrived, his phone rang. No, it should be Xiao Lin's phone. Lin Fei took Xiao Lin's phone, while his own phone was in the room. If Xiao Lin woke up, she could still find him through the phone. Of course, it was impossible for Xiao Lin to wake up all of a sudden. Lin Fei was still quite relieved about this. Lin Fei's eyes scanned the area and quickly locked onto a warehouse. Because there were a lot of warehouses here. It looked like they were all scrapped, but at this time, there were more than a dozen figures in the middle of the warehouse. These auras were not bad, especially one of them, which made Lin Fei's eyes light up. It was actually a Xiantian master. It seemed that this was not a small fish. Whether it was in the Holy Mountain or outside, to be able to cultivate to the Xiantian realm, one could more or less be considered a top figure. If it was just a grandmaster, then Lin Fei wouldn't be interested in it. But if it was a Xiantian master, then it would be a little different. If he caught him, he would definitely be able to obtain more information. Lin Fei was quite satisfied this time. At least he didn't come in vain. He didn't know how many secrets this Xiantian master knew, but he shouldn't be too disappointed. According to what the other party said, Lin Fei walked towards the warehouse. In a short while, he stood at the entrance of the warehouse. At this time, more than a dozen figures in the warehouse stood up and stared at Lin Fei with bad intentions. At this time, a figure walked out. It was a young figure in his 30s, but his eyes were particularly cold. Not bad, not bad. You actually have the guts to come here. Where is our thing? This person looked at Lin Fei with a trace of disdain. The thing is in my hands. Where is my friend Zhang Weiwei? If I don't see her, I can't give it to you. The soul jade fell into Lin Fei's hands. When the soul jade appeared, the young man's eyes lit up. The young man's eyes lit up in an instant. This was what he needed to find. As long as he brought these things back, he would have made a great contribution. Bring her up. The young man snorted lightly. Immediately, a subordinate helped Zhang Weiwei out. At this time, Zhang Weiwei's face was pale. She was indeed frightened. Fortunately, she didn't suffer any injuries. However, sitting with so many strong men was indeed a lot of pressure. Look carefully. We didn't do anything to her at all. It's just that this Zhang Weiwei is a little timid and was a little frightened. But it doesn't matter. As long as we get this thing later, we will naturally compensate her. Just give her 500,000. I am a very generous person. The young man chuckled. Zhang Weiwei saw Lin Fei coming over and heaved a sigh of relief. Until now, she still didn't understand what they had taken from the other party. When she saw the round ball, she finally understood. It was actually this thing. Zhang Weiwei had always thought that it was left behind by the previous guest. She didn't expect that it would cause her to suffer so much. Then you can give us the thing, and I will hand her over to you. The young man stretched out his hand. Chapter 43-34. The young man was indeed happy, and he heaved a sigh of relief. This was a great merit, and he had obtained it just like that. No problem, I'll pass this to you now. However, you have to catch it first. Lin Fei chuckled and tossed the soul jade over. The young man was elated. He was worried that Lin Fan would go back on his word. Fortunately, he tossed it over. Now that he had the item, the rest was simple. However, when he reached out to grab the soul jade, a thought flashed through his mind. Not good. Because the soul jade directly exploded with an extremely powerful force, directly crushing his body. The young man was sent flying and crashed into a huge pillar in the warehouse. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Cracks appeared on the pillar. The young man's entire body smashed into the ground, raising a cloud of dust. Lin Fei walked over unhurriedly. Wherever he passed, the dozen strong men would fall to the ground, clutching their wounds. A single sword will had injured all of them. Of course, this was because Lin Fei had shown mercy. Zhang Weiwei was dumbfounded. These were more than a dozen strong men who had been flaunting their prowess. Now, all of them were lying on the ground. At this moment, she heard a voice. "You must have had quite a scare today. Have a good rest. Everything will be fine when you wake up." Zhang Weiwei saw a figure appear in front of her and fell into a deep sleep. Lin Fei gently patted Zhang Weiwei's neck, causing her to fall into a deep sleep. At the same time, he sealed the scene that had happened today. When Zhang Weiwei woke up, she didn't remember anything like this. Even if there was a trace of it, she would feel like she was dreaming. She didn't think that it had happened at all. "Who are you?" The young man was a pinnacle Xiantian expert. But now, he couldn't move at all. God knew how many bones in his body were broken. Lin Fei made a grabbing motion with his 5 fingers and pulled the young man over. Then, he easily lifted the young man. "Look at my eyes." The young man looked over subconsciously. But in the blink of an eye, his eyes lost their color. Lin Fei was too lazy to say anything to this pinnacle innate realm fish. He directly used the soul-searching technique. In any case, this fellow didn't do anything good. The baleful aura on this fellow was simply too much. There was no point in keeping such a person alive, so it was better to just kill him. After looking through the other party's memories, Lin Fei finally understood the situation. He chuckled. "Looks like the origin of this soul jade is not small. It actually managed to mobilize so many experts. It seems like there are quite a number of Xiantian experts in the secular world." Lin Fei had indeed obtained a lot of information from this young man's memory. The most eye-catching thing was the origin of the soul jade. It turned out to be a bounty issued by a faction. Anyone who brought back this soul jade would be rewarded greatly. For example, this Xiantian pinnacle master in front of him. As long as he brought the soul jade back, he would have the opportunity to obtain treasures. Not only would his strength increase, but he would also receive their protection. This was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Coincidentally, the place where the bounty was issued was in South Asia of the Yu province. If it was somewhere else, it would be fine. Lin Fei couldn't be bothered to go. However, since it was in South Asia of the Yu province, he had to go and take a look. He heard that there were quite a number of experts in that place. Lin Fei brought Zhang Weiwei back to the hotel suite. Both of them had to sleep for more than a day. Lin Fei left a note beside Charlene and left the suite. He decided to go to that place to take a look. Actually, Lin Fei also wanted to know more about the soul jade. Since he could find such a piece of soul jade, there would definitely be a second and third piece. He couldn't possibly miss out on such an opportunity. The outskirts of South Asia. Near the seaside. There was a huge villa here. It could be said to be a big villa with a sea view. It was very grand. This was a private place. There were security guards constantly patrolling the villa. One look and anyone could tell that this was a place where the rich lived. Lin Fei stood on the beach not far away. He let the sea breeze blow past his face and silently felt it. There seemed to be quite a number of people in the villa. There were 6 Xiantian experts and one of them was actually a qi refinement expert. This was a little unbelievable. It wasn't a big problem to meet a Xiantian expert, but a qi refinement expert was a little rare. "I just caught a small fish. I didn't expect a big fish to come. It seems like this guy definitely knows about the soul jade." Lin Fei more or less guessed that this person should have received news that the soul jade appeared in South Asia of the Yu province. He was here to bring it back. Regardless of whether the other party was here to bring back the soul jade, Lin Fei decided to go in and take a look. Lin Fei walked into the villa unhurriedly. The patrolling security guards didn't see Lin Fei at all. This was because Lin Fei cast a spell on himself. No matter where he went, no one could see him. It was the same even if the security guards had some foundation in martial arts. Congratulations, old Wang. This trip wasn't in vain. You'll be able to get that soul jade soon. When that time comes, it will be a great merit. Everyone in the villa was complimenting the old man. This old man looked to be around 60 years old, but his face was ruddy and he was full of energy. As he sat there, he felt like a huge mountain. In front of this old man, there were more than a dozen warriors, all of whom were respectful towards him. It's all thanks to you guys that I can complete this task. If it wasn't for you guys, it wouldn't be so easy for me to complete the task. Old Wang smiled at everyone and took a sip of the tea beside him. I see that everyone is in a good mood. I hope you don't mind an outsider like me coming over to have a cup of tea. Lin Fei pushed the door open and walked in, interrupting everyone's compliments. These people who were complimenting him turned around and looked a little displeased. Who are you? Why are you here? Get out now. One of the hot-tempered people snorted coldly at Lin Fei. He's not from our villa. Let's capture him and interrogate him first. Someone recognized that Lin Fei wasn't from this villa. Moreover, there were security guards patrolling outside. Anyone who could appear here must be an opponent. Two figures pounced over like leopards and wolves and displayed the eagle claw fist. I'm just here to have a sip of tea. Is there a need to be so violent? Your sincerity isn't enough. Lin Fei smiled and shook his head. The two experts let out a groan and flew to both sides. Lin Fei walked in and sat on the sofa. Can someone get me a cup of tea? Thank you. Chapter 43-35. Lin Fei's words were neither light nor heavy. However, to all the martial artists present, it was no less than a mountain. Instantly, their expressions changed. The two martial artists that attacked just now were very strong. They were at the inborn realm. After all, a transcendent master wasn't qualified to stand here in the villa. However, these two inborn experts were sent flying in an instant. In fact, they didn't even see how the fight started and the two of them were already injured. Everyone, let's attack together and get rid of this guy first. Who does he think he is to dare to strut around here? Yeah, let's attack together. There are so many of us. Why should we be afraid of this guy? You're so young. How dare you cause trouble in our villa? You really don't know how high the sky is. The remaining inborn experts were infuriated, and all of them attacked. After all, they didn't like to talk about rules. If they could attack together, they would attack together. There was no such thing as a one-on-one duel. That was a thing of the past. A sword will slid past them instantly. The sword will was like a mountain that swept across their bodies. Kacha. The rest of the innate experts were sent flying. The sword will entered their bodies directly and they instantly lost their fighting strength. An expert from Sky Sword Mountain. The old man called Old Wang's pupil shrank. He quickly stood up and stared at the young man. Lin Fei chuckled. I think it's better that you don't care about my background. I just wanted to have a cup of tea and chat with you. What do you think? A sword will appeared in front of Old Wang. It pierced through his left shoulder. Old Wang fell onto the sofa. Fresh blood flowed down from his left shoulder and quickly dyed the sofa red. We know Sky Sword Mountain. What you're doing? Before he could finish his sentence, Old Wang's right shoulder was pierced by the sword will again. Fresh blood flowed down again. Lin Fei extended his hand and the teapot flew over. If I were you, I'd sit still. My mood isn't always so good. If I'm not careful, my next sword will pierce through your forehead. If you think your forehead can withstand it, feel free to tell me. I'm a person who likes to help others. Lin Fei poured himself a cup of tea. This tea was pretty good. The tea leaves cost at least 100,000 yuan per caddy. In this villa it was indeed quite good. Even outside, not many people could afford to drink this tea. Old Wang didn't dare to say anything else. No matter how sturdy his glabella was, could it be stronger than the other party's sword intent? Senior, I don't know what you want to know. As long as I know it, I will tell you honestly. At this time, he didn't dare to talk about backing anymore. The young man's temper was not small, and he would not give him any chance at all. If he really made the other party unhappy and sent a strand of sword intent over, he would be completely finished. He had to be wary of that. A soul jade appeared in Lin Fei's hand. He smiled and said, I just want to know where this soul jade came from. If it's good, then you can leave today. If it's not good, then you can retire. I think that you are already 60 or 70 years old, so it's suitable for you to retire. Old Wang's heart skipped a beat. What a cruel person. Unless he was a fool, he wouldn't be willing to retire. Of course, he could tell what she meant by retirement. It was just a waste of his strength. It wasn't easy for him to cultivate to the Qi cultivation realm. If he retired, he probably wouldn't be able to live for more than a few years. When he saw the soul jade, he understood what was going on. However, he was shocked. This soul jade actually ended up in the hands of this expert from Sky Sword Mountain. Did he not know where this soul jade came from? Old Wang didn't dare to say such a thing. Who knew whether or not this person had a bad temper? It was better to explain honestly. Senior, are you saying that you want to know where this soul jade came from? Actually, this soul jade came from Kunlun's secret dimension. I heard that there are a total of 3 of these soul jades, and this one is one of the reincarnated ones. That's why all of us came out non-stop to search for this soul jade. Old Wang explained briefly. At the same time, his heart jumped. He didn't know why the young man would ask such a question. Did he really not know where this soul jade came from? He also didn't know that this was something that reincarnated ones had. Hearing the words reincarnated ones, Lin Fei was a little interested. He came from another world, so naturally, he knew about the existence of reincarnation. There are reincarnations in this place? Are you sure you're not mistaken? Senior, how would I dare to joke with you? There is indeed someone in Kunlun's secret dimension who has reincarnated. It has been confirmed, and these 3 soul jades were left behind by her. Old Wang said carefully. Lin Fei smiled. Doesn't that mean that it will be more troublesome for me to get my hands on this soul jade? Alright, tell me, which person in Kunlun's secret dimension has this soul jade? Lin Fei knew that this would be the case. There was more than one soul jade. Now that he heard about reincarnated ones, Lin Fei's interest in the other 2 soul jades was piqued. If the one in his hand was strength, then the other 2 must be extraordinary. What if it was strength? Old Wang's heart skipped a beat. Did this fellow really not know, or was he just playing with him? That person is the last disciple of one of the 6 Supremes. He is also the strongest among the 6 Supremes. His name is Supreme Xinghai. Lin Fei didn't know much about the 6 Supremes. This time, those Supremes must have suffered quite a bit. His limitless hell formation wasn't set up for nothing. From what you said, the remaining 2 soul jades are in the hands of this Supreme Xinghai. Lin Fei had intended to make a trip to Kunlun's secret dimension to find out more about the secret. Now, it seemed like he had another reason. In other words, he had to take a look at this soul jade. The remaining 2 pieces of soul jades are indeed in the hands of Supreme Xinghai. I've heard that 3 pieces of soul jades are required in order to fully activate the mysteries within, allowing the successor to inherit it. I've also heard that once the successor inherits it, he would become the 7th sovereign of the Kunlun secret realm. No wonder you guys would be so patient in searching for this soul jade. Unfortunately, I've already used up one of the soul jade. Sigh, that reincarnated one is really pitiful. To think that such a good item would end up in the outside world. I think there must be a story behind this. Lin Fei chuckled. However, in the ears of Old Wang, this was definitely a shocking matter. This fella had actually used up the soul jade? How could this be? Didn't they say that all 3 soul jades had to be gathered? Bookseller's website. Chapter 4336. From Old Wang's mouth, Lin Fei found out a lot of information. He also found out some insider information about the reincarnated people. Hence, he was rather interested in the Kunlun mystic realm. When he left, Lin Fei sealed Old Wang's memories. It was as if he had never been here. He had used up the soul jade and he didn't want Charlene to have any trouble. After sealing the memories of these people, it would be simple. No one would know the whereabouts of the soul jade. As for Wang Qingyun, he had long run away. In Lin Fei's perception, the divine sense that he left behind was getting further and further away from him. If nothing went wrong, that guy would definitely run out of the country. That was the only way for him to survive. When he returned to the suite, Charlene and Zhang Weiwei hadn't woken up yet. They were still in a deep sleep. Charlene's absorption was very good. She seemed to have been reborn. When she completely woke up, she would be able to open up a whole new world. As for Zhang Weiwei, she would forget everything that happened before and wouldn't know that she had been taken away by someone. Everything had become perfect. The next morning, Charlene was the first to wake up. She felt refreshed and she subconsciously flipped over. But when she flipped over, she felt that something was wrong. She actually flipped off the bed and landed on the carpet. She almost fell to the ground. Her body was as light as a swallow. I actually flipped off the bed. Could this be the whole new world that Brother Lin mentioned? Charlene came back to her senses. She didn't forget what she said yesterday. She also remembered the word martial artist. If she did not see Zhang Weiwei at the side, Xia Lin would have jumped in excitement. Now she could even touch the roof. This was definitely an unbelievable thing. In such a short time, she actually became an expert. She felt that her body was filled with energy. It was as if she could smash the table with her palm. Suppressing the urge to attack, Charlene went outside. How is it? Aren't you pleasantly surprised? Congratulations. You are now a great expert. However, you still need to properly train your strength. Otherwise, it will be somewhat troublesome. Lin Fei chuckled. Lin Fei was the first to speak. Brother Lin, is this your world? So this world is so exciting. Charlene jumped 3 feet high and actually jumped towards Lin Fei. Xia Lin only wanted to walk over, but she didn't expect that with a slight movement of her feet, she actually bounced up and crossed a few meters in an instant. Seeing that she was about to fall to the ground, Yi Xiaolong reached out and carried Charlene on his body, casually placing her on the sofa at the side. Xiao Lin, you really have to practice your control over your power. Otherwise, if something like this happens again, no one will be able to catch you. Lin Fei joked with a smile. Charlene's ability to accept things was very strong. Ever since she found out about that piece of soul jade, she felt that this piece of soul jade was not simple. Perhaps this was a woman's intuition. Brother Lin, can you help me? I'm really afraid that I won't be able to control my power. I've never learned it before. Xia Lin said helplessly. How could Lin Fei not know what Charlene was thinking, but he didn't expose her. Let me teach you. You're my savior after all. Charlene chuckled. At least you know your place. You even know that I'm your savior. However, you've become my boss now. You haven't come to see me in a long time. Is it because I don't look as pretty as Bai Shengnan? Perhaps it was because of the change in her identity. Charlene finally said what she wanted to say. Brother Lin, actually, I've liked you since a long time ago. Even until now, I've always liked you. Now I can finally come into contact with your world. Charlene had always wanted to know what kind of person Lin Fei was. She only knew that Lin Fei was very mysterious and that his entire body exuded a mysterious aura. However, she had never thought that Lin Fei's world was so exciting. Lin Fei chuckled. It's just the door to a world. If you want to go further, you still need to work hard. Of course, you can also think of this as my world. However, you're still a little far from me. Charlene suddenly clenched her fists tightly. Brother Lin, I'll definitely work hard to catch up to you. At this moment, Charlene's gaze became very determined. Initially, she was a little worried that Lin Fei would reject her. Now, it seemed like Lin Fei had never intended to reject her at all. He only gave her a path to choose. Even though Lin Fei was standing quite far away, Charlene already knew that she would definitely be able to catch up to him. Because Lin Fei had already given her a chance. Actually, when Lin Fei helped Charlene guide the power of the soul jade into her body, he was actually giving her a chance. If Charlene didn't choose, it wouldn't matter. The soul jade naturally had other uses. Once Charlene accepted it, it would be equivalent to a chance. Whether she could catch up to him would depend on Charlene's talent. As the first woman he met in East Sea and also his savior, even if Charlene didn't save Lin Fei, nothing would happen to her. However, it wouldn't be so smooth. I'll be waiting for you in front. Charlene, Lin Fei, can the two of you stop showing off your affection here? At this moment, Zhang Weiwei walked out of the room and smiled at the two of them. Charlene had a tacit understanding. She didn't say anything about Zhang Weiwei being taken away. She just casually said that. I have to talk about you. You were tired from playing yesterday, and actually stayed in my room. I was almost kicked down by you at night. What do you think I should have done? Charlene said. Zhang Weiwei was confused. Really? I didn't feel that I was tired from playing yesterday. But why did I sleep on your bed? Look at you, you can't even remember. You really tired yourself from playing yesterday. That's why you slept on my bed. Now, I'll punish you by making breakfast for me. Show me your culinary skills. Hearing what Charlene said, Zhang Weiwei also felt that she must have been tired from playing yesterday. That was why she slept on Charlene's bed. Consider yourself lucky today. I'll cook a meal for you. Zhang Weiwei really went to make breakfast. The suite was fully equipped. After Zhang Weiwei left, Charlene looked at Lin Fei and blinked. What do you think of my cooking? Lin Fei gave her a thumbs up. Not bad, not bad. I was worried that you would expose us just now. It's great that you said it like that. Charlene secretly asked, Brother Lin, did you do something to my best friend? If not, why can't she remember what happened yesterday? But that's good too. She can't remember what happened yesterday. Just pretend that nothing happened. My best friend is still the same best friend. Lin Fei smiled. Your ability to accept things is quite strong. Ordinary people don't have such a mentality. Chapter 43-37. Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry to leave South Asia. As he helped Charlene familiarize herself with her power, it was inevitable that there would be some physical contact. In Zhang Weiwei's eyes, it was as if the two of them were hooking up. After a few days, Charlene finally managed to control the power in her body. She wasn't a violent woman who would crush glass and leave marks on the sofa or stool. The current Charlene was still as amiable as ever, but in her heart, she was a fiery heroine. Lin Fei gave Charlene a set of palm technique. Of course, this was the most suitable palm technique for women to cultivate. It was very feminine, but it was extremely powerful. It was very suitable for Charlene's physique. Currently, Charlene hadn't been able to unleash the power of this set of palm techniques, so she still had to practice more. For this, Lin Fei specially refined a talisman for Charlene. This talisman didn't have much power, but its greatest use was to hide the aura of Charlene's power. No martial artist would be able to tell that Charlene was an expert. At most, they would think that she was an ordinary girl with a strong aura. Even a Xiantian expert wouldn't be able to tell that the current Lin Fei could refine real talismans. This could be considered a form of protection for Charlene. Lin Fei and Charlene didn't spend much time together. This was because Charlene received another piece of news. It turned out that Bai Shengnan wanted to open a branch in Yu Province. Therefore, he let Charlene take charge. After all, she was a secretary's assistant, so she was very good at this aspect. Upon receiving this news, Charlene was also very surprised. She knew that the cloud shapewear was very popular in the country, and every first-tier city had started to build such branches. However, she didn't expect it to open in Yu Province so quickly, and it was even set in South Asia. I won't be able to take a vacation here. Charlene smiled bitterly at Lin Fei. Lin Fei really hadn't paid attention to the matter of the cloud shapewear and the company for some time. Boss, how are you going to compensate me for my loss? In any case, I was on vacation, but the vacation ended early. Lin Fei laughed. How about this? I'll treat you to a big meal. Sure, of course Charlene has no objections. As for Zhang Weiwei, she had left 2 days ago because of work. There was quite a lot of food in South Asia. For example, now that they had found a decent private home cuisine restaurant, it was a good one. This private home cuisine restaurant was quite famous. The taste inside was also quite good. At the very least, Lin Fei was satisfied. If he really had to give a score, he would give it around 80 points. Being able to get 80 points from Lin Fei also proved that the taste of this private restaurant was really good. Hee, I can finally eat to my heart's content now. In the past, I couldn't let go of my hands and feet, but now I don't have to worry so much. Xia Lin was now a Xiantian expert. Even though she did not have a Xiantian physique, her digestive ability was still very strong. She could finally eat without any worries. Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This was the first time an innate master had used his strength on eating. If this were to spread, all the Xiantian experts would probably be shocked. The ancestors would even come out of the ground. Brother Lin, how can you say that? I'm just letting myself enjoy this life better. It's rare for people to eat to their heart's content. Xia Lin rolled her eyes and continued to eat the delicacies. Brother Lin, sit here for a while. I'm going to the toilet. I have to eat to my heart's content. Lin Fei was convinced by Xia Lin's intentions. After becoming a Xiantian expert, she was even more interested in delicacies. Of course, Lin Fei liked Xia Lin's casual attitude. After all, not every Xiantian expert would like delicacies. Weren't all of them thinking about how to improve their strength? The more they did so, the more it affected their strength. Sometimes, when one's understanding deepened, they would break through. Lin Fei had seen this happen many times. Lin Fei felt that Xia Lin would sometimes bring him quite a surprise. What are you doing? I already said that I'm not going with you. Lin flew to his ear and heard Charlene's voice, with a hint of anger. So what if I hit you? Didn't your moms tell you not to offend beautiful women? I'm hitting you, you be asterisk stards. A commotion came from the other side. Lin Fei didn't walk over. He extended his divine sense and saw the situation. A few drunk people wanted to take advantage of Xia Lin. In the end, they were beaten up by Xia Lin. Fortunately, Xia Lin had controlled her strength. Even so, these people couldn't get up from the ground. Brother Lin, it was really fun just now. I didn't expect so many drunk people to ask me to drink with them. Don't you think these people are asking for a beating? Xia Lin said angrily when she came back. Do you feel very comfortable? Lin Fei smiled and asked. Xia Lin nodded. To be honest, it was quite comfortable. I didn't expect those men to be so weak. I understand why ancient girls like to be heroines. It's good to help others. Lin Fei was quite satisfied with Xia Lin's reply. At least, most people wouldn't be able to control their strength so easily. Xia Lin didn't disappoint him. It's okay for me to hit them like that. They seem to have some background. Lin Fei laughed out loud. What's there to be afraid of? Don't forget that you're now a great expert. Once a great expert like you gets angry, these little kittens and puppies will be scared shitless. Xia Lin nodded seriously. Right, I'm an expert now. So, I have to turn my unhappiness into appetite and eat again. Xia Lin wasn't affected by what happened just now. Xia Lin continued to deal with the food. She couldn't let down the food. After a private meal, most of it was eaten by Xia Lin. Lin Fei only tasted a small part of it. Of course, to Lin Fei, this small part was enough. Bitch, you actually dared to hit our people. Let's see where you can go now. Just as they walked out of the private restaurant, a large group of people came. These people were all wearing the same uniform. I see that you're a martial artist. I don't know why you bullied people from our Weijin dojo. Aren't you going to give us an explanation? A middle-aged man walked out from the crowd. His eyes were calm and fixed on Xiaolin. If you don't give us an explanation today, don't even think about leaving this place. This is what our Weijin dojo said. Chapter 43-38. When the people from the Weijin dojo came over, they surrounded Lin Fei and Xiaolin, especially the person in the lead, who had a savage expression on his face. How did they offend the people from the Weijin dojo? Who doesn't know that the Weijin dojo is a true demon king in South Asia? Those who offend the people from the Weijin dojo will not have a good ending. I heard that the background of this Weijin dojo is huge. That man and woman are out of luck. If I were them, I would kowtow and apologize to the people from the Weijin dojo right now. Only by doing so would they be able to leave South Asia alive. Otherwise, they would suffer a huge loss. The people at the side all sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Hai sized up the two of them, especially the woman. He really couldn't tell that this guy was actually a martial artist, daring to injure the people from their Weijin dojo. As for the young man beside him, he didn't have the slightest bit of a martial artist's aura. He should be an ordinary person. Lu Hai could tell that they were probably people from other provinces. Otherwise, it was impossible for them to not recognize the people from the Weijin dojo, and they wouldn't dare to casually make a move. Why should I go with you? It was your people who came to tease me when they were drunk, and I beat them up. Is that wrong? You stinking men are really nothing. Xiaolin had grown bolder now and started cursing. In the past, Xiaolin would never dare to say such words. Now that she was an expert, the chivalrous demeanor of a chivalrous woman emerged from the bottom of her heart. Of course, the fact that Lin Fei was standing beside her gave Xiaolin endless courage. Lu Hai couldn't help but admire this girl. She actually dared to speak to him like that. It seems like you are very confident in your own strength, but no matter what, you injured someone from our Weijin dojo, so you have to come with us. Lu Hai clapped his hands, and the disciples behind him rushed forward. Don't think that just because you're a girl, we men won't dare to make a move. In any case, we are from the Weijin dojo, and other than our own people, outsiders don't have the qualifications to do so. The men from the Weijin dojo all pounced forward. Xiaolin also took a deep breath. Lin Fei also gave her a look. There are so many sandbags. You should practice well. After all, it's not every day that you'll encounter these sandbags. The people from the prestige martial arts school were all furious after hearing this. Someone dared to call them punching bags. This was simply not taking them seriously. After dealing with this girl, he would go and deal with this guy. How dare he spout nonsense? He would let him know the meaning of disaster comes from the mouth. All right. Charlene nodded her head and sprinted over. Not far away, many people didn't dare to watch anymore. She was a delicate girl, yet she was fighting with a group of men. Even if she really had some foundation in martial arts or learned taekwondo, she was still no match for the people from the Weijin dojo. Who didn't know about the Weijin martial arts dojo? It was a place that practiced martial arts. In South Asia, who didn't change their expressions when they heard of the Weijin martial arts dojo? Lu Hai also wanted to see what kind of ability this girl had to actually dare to hit someone from their Weijin dojo. Didn't he know that the prestige martial arts school wasn't a place that anyone could fight? Charlene was rather excited. This was the first time she had met so many opponents. Previously, although they had made a move in the private restaurant, those people were all drunk and dizzy, especially their reflexes. The people in front of her had indeed surprised her. At the beginning, Charlene was truly flustered. This was the first time she had met so many experts. Charlene's side was flustered, but she was able to dodge them one by one. On the other hand, the people from the Weijin dojo all felt that their eyes were blurred. They were clearly about to hit the other party, but it was gone in an instant. The other party was like a butterfly, constantly moving back and forth between the group of them. On the contrary, they were the ones who were careless and got hit by the force, causing their entire faces to change. "You trash, did you not eat tonight? You can't even hold a girl, what's the use of having you?" Lu Hai was furious as he watched from the side. He was clearly just a little bit off, but he actually missed. Lu Hai couldn't keep his face any longer. After all, he was a fist master of the Might Jin Dojo. He was quite famous in South Asia. For example, there were already some people who recognized Fist Master Lu Hai. This made Lu Hai feel even more embarrassed. For a moment, Lu Hai even planned to take action himself. He was a dignified fist master, and if he didn't make a move, he wouldn't be able to rely on these people. But with so many people present, Lu Hai felt that it was a little difficult. If he really made a move, he would really be labeled as a big bully. The Might Jin Dojo had always been paid attention to. As long as he dared to make a move, it might spread in the circle tomorrow. He, Lu Hai, liked to bully the weak. It was fine if he bullied a man, but he had to bully a girl. Where would a fist master's face go? Wait. Lin Fei smiled as he watched Charlene make her move. He was quite satisfied with her performance. At the very least, she was used to this method of attack. It was not easy to find a sandbag like this. The Might Jin Dojo had really done a good deed. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. The people from the Might Jin Dojo couldn't catch Charlene at all. On the contrary, they were attacked one by one. It hurt here and there, and their hands and feet slowed down. In reality, they were a little terrified. She was clearly a delicate girl, but why did she feel pain all over her body the moment she touched her? What the hell? On the contrary, they couldn't even touch her. Looking at senior brother Lu Hai, who was not far away, his expression became abnormally ugly. As one could imagine, their performance was extremely terrible. But there was nothing they could do about it. "All of you, come down. I'll do it myself," Lu Hai shouted. He really couldn't watch any longer. Even if he lost face, he had to do it himself. "Girl, your skills are not bad, but you injured my Might Jin Dojo's people. As the fist master of the Might Jin Dojo, I, Lu Hai, have to ask for a few moves from you." Lu Hai walked out and cupped his hands toward Charlene. "My name is Charlene, I am a nobody, but your Might Jin Dojo's people are not good. So many people are bullying a weak girl like me." Charlene also dared to say it. Lu Hai's face twitched slightly, and then returned to normal. "Sorry to offend you." Basic etiquette was still needed. After offending him, Fist Master Lu Hai made his move. Walking like a dragon, he directly unleashed a set of fist technique. This set of fist techniques was majestic and imposing. It was quite extraordinary. Bookseller's reading website.